feeling like they're ancient at this stage, although it's not going to be ancient up next. Instead, it will be Vertigo. They lost the first map 16-9. If we're being honest though, Blair, 3 of those rounds at the end were basically Big mounting the second win that never really went anywhere, and another 2 of those rounds were based off a tabseN 1v4 clutch out of thin air. So I don't think that paints the full picture of how that map went.
Absolutely not. And it's also Vitality just taking a sweet time. They're like, it's okay, you know, let them win a couple of rounds here and there. We're just going to save a weaponry. And heading into Vertigo, honestly, I felt like Vitality would actually go for this map pick, honestly, but Big going for this one. And if you look at the win-loss, it's pretty even, right? Big have played 7, they won 3 out of them. And for Vitality, even though they have a winning record on this map in the past 3 months, it's only been 3 maps played recently. So it is still very even, if you ask me, heading into this map, of course, for Big to stay alive. Heading into Nuke, I'll say Big might have a slight little edge. I really do like watching Big on Nuke. It's a map that is supremely comfortable on. But firstly, they have to withstand the test, which is going to be coming on Vertigo over here. The individuals from Big, I don't know, like I really wasn't very impressed coming out from some of the players who were keeping an eye out on. You know, tabseN had, like you pointed out, that 1v4 clutch he had earlier on the B bomb side. Everyone's so very quiet though. Tizian's still struggling. Apex, he's feeling it. He's excited. Now, I wish we had an Apex cam throughout a game. Just 100%. Like one tiny little cam with Apex and his reactions.
That is content right there. That's content I would watch. Vitality, if you're listening right now, make it happen, please.
You could just have literally a separate stream, you know, PGL_Apex on Twitch at just his face cam. That would be amazing. Actually, that is possible. We do have, you know, PGL do have, you guys can check it out as well. You have all the 10 players POVs streaming where you can pick and choose whose POV you do want to watch. If I'm tuning in on that particular stream, I will be watching ZywOo. He was looking incredible. Magisk as well. These are the 2 players we were talking about heading into this matchup, and they have delivered. For the side of Big, you want to see syrsoN pop off, right? He is the talisman of this team, and thus far in this event, he has been comparatively a little quiet, really getting dominated on that map. And heading into Vertigo, I would assume it will be Vitality starting on the T side. Big would obviously... Actually, no, it would be Big starting on the T side because Vitality did choose this map. Am I wrong? Am I losing my mind? Big chose this map. Never mind. Yeah. It's the age, Vince. The mind's a little bit of a mush. Big chose the map. They should be starting on the T side here. Vitality will be starting on the more favored side. And I'm taking a look at the matches that Vitality played on this one as well, right? They had a very convincing win against Dignitas, and you go back a couple of months in Pro League, they played against Furia and Mouse, where they got dismantled by Furia. But then again, we know how good the Brazilians can be on this very map. But here we go, Vitality. There we go. Starting on the CT side, Dupree with the dualies. We have double dualies, 7 pistols for Vitality on the pistol round. For the side of Big, it is going to be a ton of utility events. 3 smokes, a Molotov, couple of flashes, and 2 HEs as they are slowly grouping up for this A take.
Maybe that's what Apex's charade was all about, you know, is pew, 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 pew on the, just telling them exactly what they need to be buying here. ZywOo with the first dualies though, but he's firing blanks. syrsoN is using live ammo, takes his head clean off, and Apex now and Masuda have to try and scrape together a bit of a defense. Masuda's getting aggressive, takes the head off in midair, flashbang there afterwards, and Masuda's got both of them, but tabseN from the side comes in. May just trades back out. Dupree is all that remains, and he does have 1 gun for each of the remaining Big players. They've traded up to the USP themselves. No post plant is in just yet. Positions are a little bit shaky now for Dupree to contend with, but still removes the head, keeps himself in this round, still has 68 HP to his side as well, Blair, and Crimbo's spot still hasn't gone in for the plant.
I don't think they've seen Crimbo. He hasn't got a kill yet, right? And they haven't spotted the C4. The timing is everything. He hears a plant taking place at Dupree. Oh, no. It's not a plant, Crimbo. Now going to be sticking it, and this is going to be heard now. The 1v1. Dupree, he's got Kevlar, he's got the dualies, and it's going to be going against Crimbo and the USP.
Dualies fire off. Oh, there's so many missed bullets on both players. It just takes 1 to connect, and Crimbo will seal the deal. The experience not prevailing this time against the youthful aim, and Big get their first round on Vertigo. So important they pick that pistol up.
The 1v2 from Dupree, not able to land a single bullet. This is a great attempt from Masuda, by the way, the re-aggression coming in. But there's 2 nades. We saw the 2 nades, and we're like, where it's going to be used towards, and Apex gets obliterated. And Crimbo, a young gun, will reign supreme. Pistol round will go the way of Big. for Vitality. Once more, they're going to go for the pretty much the eco. A lot of nades being purchased. 4 nades, in fact, and they've gone for a B stack. Unfortunately for them, there's no one there. We can see Apex just peeking around the corner, spotting, calling for his teammate to lob in the nades if needs be. And ZywOo is by his lonesome, and he is going to have a rough time with the USP.
Yeah, good as he is, there's only so much you can do with the USP against the full weight of the teams
nades
pushing you. There are nades, there's 4 of them in actual fact, but they needed to be there before the bombs actually finalized. This is to deny the bomb plant, so they just kind of show up and say, hey guys, the party's already left though.
You can still wreck a few players here if they group up those nades, but they might even just hold on to these nades, Vince. Keep it for the next round.
Yeah. No, that's legit. They may very well go for that one. I'm curious, though, if they do decide to hold on to the nades, knowing they could be getting flanked from an SMG, and it could all come undone.
All right, evacuated the premises. No kits as well as they come charging it. Oh, they assume they're going to be saving at the edge, Vince, but no one's there. I love the attempt. I love the attempt, but it was only Sirison, and he will survive comfortably. I like the plan there from the side of Vitality, but Big, they had a player at the bottom of ramp, and they're like, listen, there's no one there. We can save in a much more comfortable position. So here we go, Big keeping all 5 players alive. For Vitality, the buy is going to be coming in. M4s for all 5 members. No op for ZywOo yet. And a bit of a number of smokes. I do see a distinct lack of a kit here for the CTs. And look at this, Vince. Heavy presence from the CTs towards mid and towards B. And Tizian is good for 1, but the trade is solid. And I like this aggression here from Dupree towards B stairs.
Oh, double peek though, double angles to watch out for. And because of this scrappy start, it means that ZywOo's going to take that much longer to get his hands on an AWP. Mage just burning alive through a flashbang down to 31. And with him being one of the only 2 players remaining over on the B side of the map, that is pretty rough. ZywOo, meanwhile, somehow gets the better of Tabson. Had no right to win that fight considering his back was turned. And it is 3-on-3. All things considered, this round is still up for debate, especially as ZywOo's picked up another frag. And although he's down to 8 HP and his teammate of Majors is 31, they're still putting the frags down with Apex. Grenade up and over, but it's not the weakened Majors. Instead, it's Apex that comes back swinging in with his 3rd kill.
Huge round there from Apex, and especially from ZywOo, right? The way he was able to find the first kill, and even though Sirison got the timing right and was flanking him from short, the re-aggression catching Big off guard, and then Apex sealing the deal. Because bear in mind, Majusk was very, very low on health, although it wasn't confirmed damage here. But I like this from Vitality on the first buy round, being very, very proactive, pushing towards stairs, and sure, that didn't quite pan out. But Apex, clean shots coming out from him. They do suffer a few casualties, and that is something Big could try and take advantage of. The buy is still going to be coming in for the German side. Sirison once more with the scout specialist, as we like to call him, for Vitality. Once more, a B-centric defense. They have a player towards mid. That is, of course, going to be Masuta by his lonesome. He might be taken down here.
Oh, they line up for Masuta, though. This is the FAMAS could be a detriment. The Vitality push. Flash over first. Still gets both while flashed Masuta.
The angle, Vince. The angle was just such a perfect angle. All he had to do was just hold the left click. And the T's, they were so unaware of him. They were even turning away from their own flashbang. What a huge 2K from Masuta. Not even taking a single point of damage against the AK-47s. And Big, that little excursion towards mid gets stopped right in its tracks. But Tabson, he's looking for more. He's probably knows that Vitality might have left the premises, but no, the FAMAS, it continues to tear through Big. 3 kills on the FAMAS. The bomb dropped as well.
Absolutely huge passage of play on Masuta. And now Dupree can feel a little bit more comfortable, although timing has not been good for Big. This entire round, they've been timed multiple occasions. And CSGO has a quick checkup, and that's a corpse as opposed to Dupree's very alive body, which is now moving down on the B stairs. Maybe he can save this scout, but there's going to be very little behind it on the side of Big. And Vitality, who started off in pretty rocky shape, have bounced straight back. Not just that, but keeping 5 players alive allows him to trade up to some AKs. They catch themselves. CSGO He was Apex was waiting for after time so that CSM would die and have no money. But it looked so awkward, didn't it?
But he does it on like he even sacrifices his own life, and you can see him having a bit of a laugh. Oh, Apex, you absolute rascal!
But I know some people at home like, what's he doing? Why isn't he shooting? Because there was 1 second left on the time. He wanted to wreck CSM completely, and it has two effects as well. CSM's their AWPer. His economy now is in such a bad shape for a while.
$700, right?
Yeah.
So well, we can see an AWP getting dropped his direction, but still. Oh, Apex, you rat. I love it.
Not enough players do that, Blair.
Yeah, there's so many times we see where, you know, you can just play it out for a little bit, right? Just a couple more seconds, and it can completely ruin the buy. And Apex has indeed done that. 500 IQ sacrifice right there. Dupree pushed very deep. Now, these are just the Glocks, mind you. Not a single bit of investment. Okay, that was a little awkward as Crimbo falls to his death. Where? Okay, I need to see how Crimbo fell. Did they try to run boost? I'm not even sure. But they have lost Apex, but that's okay. Sorry, they have lost a player, but Apex is going to come in from behind, and his aim is true. And oh, there lies Crimbo. There lies Crimbo. Way at the bottom. I do want to see how he died.
That was so strange. Like, first off, Crimbo dies, I assume fell to his death. There was a Molotov down, though, and he was low. And then you had this weird wide swing where, was it Dupree, like, mollied himself, then went for a wide swing and just got wrecked by a Glock?
Yeah, the two of them and his spray, yeah, it got a little awkward. But nonetheless, Vitality, again, suffering just two casualties in those 2 rounds. They're going to be feeling pretty comfortable right now. For a big, though, again, it has to be the light investment, right? The money, it was in shambles. They've gone for the Deeks this time around. Kevlar to enforce it as well, and a bit of utility. Apex being aggressive towards the bottom of ramp. Has got backup as well in the form of the very capable ZywOo. This Deagles, though, we've seen it do some filthy things in the past. Let's see what Big can do here. They have a lot of utility. Dupree with a little bit of the wide off angle, and he's kind of alone for the time being.
He's completely alone. There's tons of utility, though. There's flashes and smokes that are going to be coming his way. Needs a rotation quick. Incendiary down. Now they'll be running into Dupree. 2 kills goes away. No, only 1 kill. He was only good for 1. And now Magisk has managed to move in close enough with his AK and M4 alongside it, where you expect things to start to fall into position for the CTs. And Masuda, Magisk spraying down. The round is over, but it wasn't without a couple of twists and turns and shaky moments.
It's okay. It's totally fine. You look at the cash right now for Vitality. They've lost 4 players in 3 rounds, Vince. That is massive for the CD side economy. For Big, finally, they can eke out a solid buy. But a little bit of an early couple of rounds they won, it's just dissipated, right? The lead they had, Vitality looking very solid. The 4-2 alongside the amount of money they right now have in their banks. See the first tactical timeout here getting called by Big. And for the side of Sursant, finally he's got enough money to go for a buy. $6,000, we can expect him to go for the AWP, Kevlar, a little bit of extra utility as well. As Big talk things through and decide how they want to approach it. For those of you who haven't purchased your tickets for the major, you can obviously scan the QR code over there. There's still a few tickets remaining. The final day, as far as I know, is completely sold out, but you can come on in for the quarters and the semis. Trust me, it is going to be one hell of a weekend here in Antwerp. And this matchup, these teams are battling it out for that very arena. Here we go. Sursant with the op. One flash as well. For the rest of the CTs, they're feeling pretty comfortable here. But this heavy B-centric defense from Vitality is something that Big could opt to try and disrupt. But look at this 3-man hole. Faven able to find one, and I don't even know how he's still alive. Magisto replies back. Faven still looking to find more. These trades are fast and furious. Apex lobbing in the nade, however, not able to quite deal too much of damage. Huge round from Faven here early on.
Apex wants to go back in. There's a smoke down there. Could afford him in one way. Oh, but his spray is off. He'll feel like he should have done better now. Masuda's caught between 2 completely separate angles. This would be heroics if he pulled it off. And although Faven and Tabson drop below 10 HP, it won't be good enough. Big retained 4 players and put Vitality's backs against the wall.
despite Vitality keeping 3 players at the top of stairs, Vince, Big somehow able to, firstly getting the opening, winning the opening duel here by FaZe. And there was no immediate trade, right? So that was a small little window they needed to bring it back. Apex a re-aggression, but the smoke working against him. Huge round there being won by Big, keeping 4 alive. Once more, the duels will take place, and Favin, the demon of the B stairs, is going to find one. Surson plucks Apex. The flash was good, and now it's going to come down to ZywOo to try and bring this one back. 1 minute and 35 seconds on the clock, and a 2-man advantage for Big.
I'm starting to see those trades, those duels go in Big's favor. These were fights that Vitality was winning handedly over a Mirage. There was 2 opportunities. Dupree and Apex both had chances here to get kills. And now ZywOo, hoping that he gets peeked into slowly. tabseN down on ramp. 2 players there alongside him, and they have the bomb. Smoke precedes this peek. Another smoke tossed in for ZywOo to change up his angle, and a Molotov in position. However, this is all a ruse for Masuda to have impact, and impact he shall have as he carves a path through tabseN's head, and that forces Big away. They hurt 2 players over here, but there is a fast flanking as well, and may just cast to try and hold on by himself. Incendiary forces him out to put in the smoke. He'll be looking to try and spray in for a few kills. There's one, but an even trade will not be good enough. Big take control over the site whilst ZywOo misses the shot mid-air. Incendiary down to the site, may force Crimbo away afterwards, but a smoke is preemptively put into position. And now these 2 Vitality players have to work in tandem, but they're being smoked off. Masuda is low, ZywOo with just about 60 HP, and they will turn back. They have to save. Big equalize, 4-4.
Having control of the stairs position, and the moment they know that there are 2 players from Vitality out of the 3 alive playing towards A, quick pivot back towards the B bomb side. And yeah, sure, the final player there on the B bomb side, I do believe was Magisk, good for 1, but the wide swing out, he was caught in a bit of an uncomfortable position, able to only find the 1 kill and getting traded immediately by Crimbo. And then you pointed it out as well, they had the Molotov from ZywOo on the bomb side, but an immediate preemptive smoke there, ensuring the flames do no damage. And then a re-smoke comes in towards Gen, and the round's done right there. Vitality have to get the hell out of there. And Big, off of the tactical timeout, Vince, getting a couple back-to-back in pretty convincing fashion. We see Gobi as well, speaking intensely with his teammates. I like the pillow on the gaming chairs. I use that as well.
You know, I'm embarrassed to say this, as someone with a pretty bad back, that's had like slip discs and stuff, how I've never thought of that before. I feel like I'm going to have to incorporate that into my gaming lifestyle now.
Do you use a gaming chair?
Yeah, I do, but I'm going to probably replace it soon.
I just use a plastic chair, Vince.
A plastic?
No, I'm kidding. I have a chair.
I was going to, mate. I was going to say, come on now.
Gaming chairs, gaming tables, you might have all of that, but that still might not be enough here against Vitality, unless Big are able to pull this one back. Again, this is a map pick coming in from Big. Trailing 1-0 in the series. A series for survival. Oh, okay.
Oh, this is tasty. The thing is, though, if no one comes B apps, or B stairs, I should say, this is so much manpower you're putting over on the B side. This leaves mid open. This leaves A also a little bit vulnerable.
Oh, this is so uncomfortable for ZywOo. Not expecting tabseN to have crept in through the smoke on the left-hand side towards sandbags, and he will be plucked away. And that's the one of the saved rifles. That the AWP taken out of contention here. And Vitality, they're still going to go for the commit. The thing is, they could try this again later on, right? Big haven't spotted this booster. They won't be expecting it again. But that could have been disastrous for Big if they did opt to head towards the B bomb site. But instead, a slow, creepy, crawly approach towards the A side. ZywOo caught unaware, sticking around for maybe a little too long and getting caught out in no man's land. That is the AWP lost. Now, I assume Apex is going to be dropping him an op. Apex or Masuda is going to be dropping in an AWP come round number 10. But Big are back to the winning ways, Vince. They have finally got the lead back. Remember, they won the pistol round. They won the first couple of rounds pretty convincingly. And there was Vitality going on a 4-round streak, enabled by the fact that Big were in a very, very rough position when it came to their economy. But now, come the bye. Nothing too complicated, but they are coming out on top of some of these duels. We saw a couple of rounds being won with Vitality, the aggression towards the B is not quite panning out. Of course, the buy is going to be coming in now here. No AWP. Apex decides, you know what, we're just going to stick with the rifle, ZywOo. You're good with whatever weapon you have in your hands. And the A1 is what you're going to be wielding this particular round. And for Big, though, the op still in the hands of Syrson. They're starting to look good here. A solid start on the T side. Their map pick. And here comes a faster play. ZywOo looking to take the duel. Dropping on down is completely blinded, but he has recovered now.
Oh, and the A1S not showing traces allows him to just pivot in for a frag. They don't know he's here. Second kill comes in for ZywOo, but there's the re-engage from tabseN. 2 kills go to his way.
No.
Misuta whiffs out on the spray, but more importantly, tabseN gets a 3rd entry. And all the flashes are good to just pave away that and re-engage for a moment. tabseN can now collect his position and his thoughts, and this round feels like it's pretty much a done deal. I'm surprised Magisk is even attempting that. He gets whittled down to 39 HP. Surely this is a save now on the CTs. But that was all tabseN's doing. Just runs in, 3 entries, round over.
And that is with ZywOo getting two kills, one of which was Syrson just getting tapped away. The nade, unfortunately, detonating right behind the bomb site, so there's nothing Vitality can do here. Big, they continue this little streak that they find themselves in. 6-4 now. Vitality, they can go for the buy. Lost bonus money will ensure that they can eke out a pretty solid buy. ZywOo can perhaps even go for the glass cannon if he wants to. But yeah, ZywOo, he gets gets a second kill as well towards the bottom of the scaffolding, but then immediately, as you pointed out, Vince, tabseN, right? The second kill. And Misuta, when you're playing a position right in front of the bomb site right there, you need to at least find one.
Yeah.
But tabseN just goes wide swinging, and unfortunately Misuta's aim just wasn't there. Big looking very, very solid right now. Map 3, if we do see it, is going to be Nuke. And for Vitality, battling for survival, Vince, you want to close this out in a 2-0 fashion. You have the lead, you have the advantage. You don't want to let it slip away. When it heads to Nuke, well, it's basically a best-of-1 at that point. The previous results don't matter. Mid stack coming in here for 2 of the players of Vitality. And this time around, just a 1 player towards B.
I like the Vitality in mixing things up, though. We've seen that triple player boost. We've seen 2 players mid. However, it's leaving ZywOo in so many awkward spots. He's stuck alone again. Incendiary tossed in will force away the T's, though. So that buys up ZywOo some much-needed couple of meters.
The nade, though, dealing so much damage, right? Even though he smoked himself off, the moment it tossed in the Molotov did big. They followed it up with an immediate nade. So ZywOo, he'll at least find a little bit of window to fall on back. But tabseN's pushed up again.
The nightmare of the last round on the CT side is still alive and still kicking and still claiming frags. tabseN will be traded out, but Syrson then instantly puts an end to Apex's streak in round 11. And just like that, again, Vitality are eyeing up another save. They really need to figure out what's going on with this ramp side, because they have lost this multiple times now.
They just don't seem to know how to hold ramp right now, right? We saw ZywOo earlier on. He was able to find a couple of kills, but his teammate just fell all around him. And this one, it was just like ZywOo was kind of by his lonesome, right? He had to extricate himself out from that position all by his lonesome, and then tabseN finds a timing to get the kill. He swings out wide. He gets traded, but the spacing was perfection from Big. Vitality, this is a round where they had a two players towards mid. They left Dupree alone towards B, and again, just 2 players at A, and Big just seemed to be a couple of steps ahead here of the Vitality side. And even when, if you go back a few rounds where Vitality kept 3 players at the top of stairs, the trading was so very good from Big. They're able to crack it open even when facing off against a wall of CTs. And you take a look at the HUD on top right there. Big, they are on fire. It's a 5-round streak coming in from Berlin International Gaming. And they're looking very convincing with winning these rounds. And you know what's this easy tell for me? It's the money. 2 players over 10K. 2 players in about average of like $9,000 in Favin and Tizian. And tabseN's the only one who's low in cash. When I say low in cash, it's still in $4,000. They are looking sublime at the moment. As this time, Vitality trying to take matters into their own hands. 2 players with the M4s. Syrson looking to find one at the top of the smoke. ZywOo, however, will somehow duck underneath the smoke, doesn't get spotted, and in fact deals quite a bit of damage onto Searson, who will still, however, stay alive.
Still alive, yeah, absolutely. Most of that damage is done through smokes. The flash is so good. The follow-up damage finally shows its hand. dupreeh pulverizing this push up onto the B side. Smoke in the eyes of the T's as they look to pull the plug and back off. But with Searson being down at low and Crimbo below 50 HP, this is a very good chance for Vitality to finally get themselves back into this winning ways after 5 unanswered rounds. Apex stuck on the sandbags. We have seen from Vitality, though, they like to play these close angles as scaffoldings. That's why Crimbo is being very diligent with his peaks. Double stack on short. Good maneuvering from Vitality. They have what looks on paper to be the winning formula here, but if they push through unneeded, unnecessarily, Tizian can punish them, and punish them he shall! 2 kills to Tizian. Apex mollies himself out in the open, and it's all come apart at the seams of Vitality. Magisk gets caught off guard, but he stands his ground to deliver the fatal blow down to 19 HP. 25 seconds to go, and Magisk was spotted. Crimbo is watching for this angle. 1 bullet will seal it up. And dupreeh now has to try and clutch. The thing is, though, he's got a vast advantage in terms of HP, but he's missed his opportunity. Searson spots him on the approach, and dupreeh has no idea to their current standing on hit points. Otherwise, he may go in for this. You see dupreeh as well sit back into his chair, look up at the heavens. You can see the frustration for Vitality. That round should have been theirs.
They know how low Crimbo was, but they had no clue Searson got tagged on. That was when ZywOo threw the smoke early in the round. What a take there from Big. You said it, Vince. That was almost an unlosable round for Vitality. They had a player inside the sandbags, 2 players pushing up short, and then Tizian. 2 instant headshots coming out from him. Oh my lord, that's just a disaster for Vitality. That was a round they had in the palm of the hands, and Tizian just breaks their fingers. Look at this. Look at this. Just great control with AK. Apex good for just a 1 kill, but again, the trade is so good from Searson. And Magisk, he actually ran out of the smoke with a nade in his hands, and he was very lucky to actually even get that kill. Yeah. But in the end, dupreeh, a little too late, gets spotted by Searson, and from then on, yeah. 8 and 4. 8 rounds for Big, and this is them winning the pistol and the following anti-eco, and then 6 rounds back to back to back for the Germans. And Vitality, that little 4-round streak they had initially, you can take a look over there. They won round number 3 all the way through 6. Ever since then, it feels like it was a lifetime ago at this point. They have just been absolutely bodied by Big as we head into round number 13. Of course, a bye. Still going to be good for Vitality. Max loss bonus kicked in quite a while ago. They did have the saved weapon from dupreeh. Op once more going to be handed towards ZywOo, looking to do a little bit of combat opping of his own.
That molly stalled him long enough, though, that he could be slim pickings, and Searson through the scaffolding. Re-engage with his HE, but Thompson lucky to survive. 7 hit points to his name. And Vitality's woes continue. Apex is thinking of going in for this peak. Did spot a player and has to shimmy out of there. He has called for a rotation, though. 2 more players join him. Masuta flashed off the angle. It's going back in for seconds and will be punished. And there's another player in, and Apex has such a poor whiff. Searson can't believe his luck as he gets another 2. Vitality, they are coming apart in front of our eyes right now, Blair. These last few rounds have been difficult to watch.
How does Apex whiff that? That was a free kill. That trade should have taken place immediately. But the protocols from Big are so good. Searson on the ace bits. He's got 4 kills already. Favin will finish off dupreeh. They have just been decimated. And we asked questions of Searson and the fact that he needs to find more impact with the AWP, and he's found it. ZywOo getting caught between a tiny little gap. You can see a little bit of a sliver of a movement. And then this I'm not too sure about. Masuta getting caught, and Apex, you need to hit those. You need to hit those.
Take nothing away from Searson. He's playing well, man, but they're walking into him one by one.
Oh, here. Absolutely, absolutely. It's a fact that Big are not just tactically looking so much better than Vitality right now, but the individuals as well, and the boost doesn't quite work out. Crimbo close by, Zaiwu needs to go big.
And he's cut down where he stands. The M4 trades hands, but Apex puts his deal to use. Taps and won't let him escape though, as the HG will bounce off the back of Apex's head. And now Masuda with his eagle had a chance, but it was brief. But at this level of play, at the legend stage of the major, that's all you're going to get. There won't be any second opportunities. Vitality have to pull a plug again, and it will be big on 10 rounds. This was 4-2 at one stage. Vitality looked in cruise control, and how big. Not only have they overtook them, Blair, but they've made this look easy these last 5-10 minutes.
It's just been bullying from big, in all honesty. Vitality, the ramp control is non-existent, and whatever they try, firstly, it does seem a little discombobulated. Some of the setups they have, it's isolated, it's not tradable. Okay, let's play a little game of can taps and survive.
Nope.
You know what, Vince? It's okay. He's got $11,000. He can buy virtually anything he wants, except for maybe a tactical nuke, but they don't even need a tactical nuke. They just completely blitzed Vitality here. Tapson versus Masuda. Look at the amount of utility damage from Tapson. That's on a T side, Vince.
Yeah, he's just unreal. We saw in the last round he killed Apex. He's the brains behind the operation, but he's also the brawn. He's top fragged, I think, on both maps on Big so far. And you mentioned about the no need for a tactical nuke. They've got the cruise missile of Sears. That AWP in his hands is a thing of beauty, is surgical precision. And he's trying the wall bangs, nothing really forthcoming. The only damage that's been done is onto Faven. But still, Vitality feel compelled to try and prey down middle with their spraying M4s. And Searson yet again carves a path. And this happens so many times on this T side. It's getting out of control. Well, honestly, it was out of control 2 or 3 rounds ago. And Zaiwu, with his A4, had the right idea, but knows that his back is quite vulnerable to a fast push. Masuda in the same position, hasn't had too much success. Will that change in this round? Nope. It's more of the same. Magisk is the only player that's posting up anything in return. Tries to muster up the strength for a clutch, but instead it's a do and done. And Dupree, the B defender, will be going in for this. It is the last round of the half. 2 of the 3 players are low. Tabson down at just shy of 70 HP, and that flash does connect, but there's no follow-up damage. Dupree at least has a kit, has a smoke, has a little bit more in terms of that flashbang. And we've seen him go crazy in these kind of situations before, but it's not going to be happening here because all of the momentum, all of the drive is the way of the Germans, and they are looking undeniable at this point.
Absolutely steamrolling this defense from Vitality. And it's been like, even if you look at Searson, right, I think he ended that with 11 and 6, 11 kills, but each of those kills was so high impact, so high impact, winning those duels at ramp seemingly every single time. Tapson having a blinder of a game as well. And if you look at the kill spread here for the side of Big, it's 12 for Tapson, Searson at 11, Faven and 10, Crimbo and Tizian and 6 and 5 apiece. It's not like a crazy overperformance from any one of the individuals. It's just as a unit. They were just an unstoppable juggernaut. And Vitality CD side, I have to say, it was severely lacking and was laid bare to see by Big. Here we go, the Vitality. T side, going to be a fast break coming in. Glocks out, they have a lot of utility as well. A couple of smokes and a Molotov, which is going to be deployed early towards sandbags. And Tapson smartly falls back to the back of the bomb site. He's got his teammates right next to him as well to help him out as he looked to snipe away the players of Vitality with the USPs.
Yeah, it's just experience prevailing through, knowing that at best case he maybe gets a 1-for-1 trade, and that just opens up A. So staying alive forces Vitality to respect the CT side, and they, for all they know, this is a stack of 3 or 4 players in the site at this stage. Like, they can't rush in, they can't just go crazy. They know the importance of this pistol. They lose this, and it's basically going to go to 3 maps more than likely. Masuda, bullets whizzing past his head, but the smoke allows him safe passage onto the bomb. Tickles it, tries to draw out some of these CTs. Now will be going in fully. He's not sure if they have HEs, if they have incendiaries to toss to his way. And tabseN gets up on the headshot angle, but it's ZywOo that returns the favor. Nullifies him, gives Vitality a huge advantage post-plant. As one of the heavy hitters has been dealt with in Sen packing. dupreeh, Masuda, both tap in through the smokes and flashes, but now Crimbo comes in. The full diffuser's coming out. Here comes the shank. He pulls off the side. He's still in the smoke. How has FaZe survived this long? And he's still alive? He's still got a chance to clutch this? Absolutely no way should this be the case. And Vitality, they finally put an end to the madness.
You could see a little bit of panic setting in for Vitality there. They knew he was taking the bomb. Three guys are running in with a knife, but FaZe, he's got a guardian angel somewhere there. What a shot from ZywOo though. The drive-by through the smoke, catching our man tabseN. And in the end, there's not much FaZe could do. It's going to be the full eco coming out here from Big. Vitality though. If there's ever a time for them to mount this comeback, it begins now. And AK in the hands of ZywOo is making a lot of noise at the back of ramp, so the CTs might not be expecting this, but Apex is in for the rude awakening.
Oh no, there's so many CTs, so many bodies there, but they walk into the blender, and dupreeh and Magus get a full house of frags as they lock it down. Incidentally, by the way, we did see on the graphic just before, FaZe lost the first map, but they are leading 12-3 going into the second half against the Flames on Stream A. I was just outside grabbing a cup of coffee right before this map, and I did see FaZe, and even though they lost the first map, their map pick, they were in very good spirits. They're like, listen guys, we got this. And you are one of the favorites. They're my pick to win this entire major, mind you. So they should be knowing that, they should be feeling confident. So it looks like map 3 might be on the horizon over there on the A stream. Right now, though, this game is still quite open. You can never, ever count out Vitality. The buy will be coming in for Big. We have the M4s for everyone. No op yet for SyrsoN, though. And I do want to see the contrast on this A-ramp defense between Vitality and Big. Vitality looking to catch someone. SyrsoN just jump spotting. Waiting patiently as a Molotov will be deployed for the short position, and that's going to be the call for Vitality to slowly creep on up. The CTs, though, slowly walking back. They're not looking to really face here towards the ramp position, but they could start and re-aggress on some other part of the map. They have only one player towards the B-bomb side, and with the... Not sure about that Molotov, though. That Molotov is...
That's a wasted one, Vince.
Yeah, that forces the second one out there, and now 3 players all at the forefront of the site. No one pushing on side. For the T's, there's no two-pronged attack here. The easiest of frags out from tabseN forces Vitality away, and this comeback may have been cut abruptly short. This is looking so dicey on the side of Vitality. They still have ZywOo, Apex and Magisk. All 3 of them are fragged pretty decently in that first half. Now ZywOo will be making moves onto the side to jump up, but ZywOo sees it, sprays down, knows the second player has to be there. 3-play-4 in this retake. Just making sure they're not getting flanked in. Magisk now with the spray, but it's not only good enough for one, but maybe a second, as ZywOo's still alive, stuck in the ramp. 1-on-1, Crimbo's already clutched out a couple of times in this best of 3, but he has to go above and beyond. He's against the powerhouse of ZywOo. 46 HP, plays 57. And the smoke onto the side. ZywOo's going to use this to his own advantage. Pushes inside and has the perfect read. Clutches out for his team and gives Vitality a chance to come back.
Cold as ice. Played so very well there by Vitality, and I agree with you. It was looking a little weird the way they just got shut down, peering in one by one from the ramp position. tabseN finding a double, peeling back to a safe position as well. But once they were able to make the way onto the bomb site, getting it down, and ZywOo coming in clutch. Big down to the pistols once again. Deagles. tabseN with a little bit of utility though. Some Kevlar being purchased as well. You can see SyrsoN's going to opt to go only with the USP just so he can afford the AWP at the earliest opportunity. What a nade though.
That's money.
100 points of damage. I want to take a look at the amount of nade damage being inflicted by tabseN and Big at the end of this series, because right now in the tournament, in the Legend stage, they have the most amount of nade damage amongst anyone.
That does not surprise me in the slightest. tabseN is so on point with that. Trading out the Deagle on the low players. tabseN is taking a back seat, allow Crimbo to shine. But the B side is being dulled down, and that's at the hands of dupreeh. The bomb is now making moves inroad onto the site. Tizian boosted up in the smoke. Will be caught by Magisk. If not, dupreeh had a dead to rights. This round will be coming to a conclusion, you'd think, sooner rather than later. Crimbo, if he can maybe peel a cap back with a deagle to kick things off in this 2-on-4, there's maybe a way forward, but dupreeh and masuda won't be giving him that chance. dupreeh now goes in for the peek. They know he's here, and they won't let him survive. This round is done. Vitality have now closed the gap to just 3, and their biggest issue and why they lost so many rounds, and we discussed this before, Blair, was their ramp control. They don't have to worry about that anymore. The T side of Vertigo can get so much success, as we saw in that first half. Big now will be making themselves a little bit worried and nervous about what could be coming up next.
The slow crawl back up for Vitality. They've already withstood one buy round from Big. Came down to some very clutch plays from the likes of ZywOo on this A bomb site. Can they do more? Susan finally is going to get his claws on the AWP. We saw how impactful he was on the T side, especially in the ramp position. And on the CD side, especially where it's a much more comfortable spot to be in with the AWP, he should, at least on paper, be even more impactful. dupreeh. Spawn smoke coming in. That's going to allow them to cross on towards mid. Molotov towards window as well, as we have a heavy take coming in from Vitality towards mid here.
masuda's already wrapping around the back. Big kill to Tizian. Has site control. And this central control puts Big in such an awkward position. Faven, though, comes out swinging. Lands the haymaker onto masuda and Apex. Knocks them both clean out. And in doing so now, dupreeh has to make moves onto B site. Faven there on the generators. dupreeh pushing past it, navigating himself in, but Faven gets his third. 19 HP left. Molotov's now descending onto the site, forcing the T's out to the open. Magisk trying to tap himself in with ZywOo. They're still in with a chance, but Magisk has now been put down. ZywOo, with low ammunition, trades across to the M4. Stuck in the smoke, there's only 28 seconds. Big headshot, but there's tabseN for the re-engage. But Faven was so pivotal in this round, Blair. Those 2 kills on Con were massive.
Faven just saved his team there. They weren't expecting the repick coming in. He timed it to perfection as well. Just getting on top of the window. The moment the flames dissipated, catching the 2 players off guard. There we go. No one was watching. They weren't expecting that. And then the third kill. If dupreeh's able to find the frag right there, suddenly things look very dicey because they have no control of the B bomb site. And ZywOo, despite the heroics, not quite able to pull off what would have been an incredible clutch. But for Vitality, the buy is still going to be pretty solid. That being said, they are now starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel. AWP out for ZywOo. AK-47s for the rest of his teammates. A full set of utility as well. And for Big, they do have 2 members surviving the previous rounds. If you look at the cash right now, Vince, it is a bit of a precarious position for both sides, right? Primarily for Vitality, though, because they don't really have too many opportunities to bring this one back. Still trailing by 4 rounds, beg your pardon. For Big, a golden opportunity to get to round number 14. And it's beckoning them. Galil for Magist, though. Invested a lot in the utility. 4 members grouped up below. And once more, Faven looking to be the hero for his side.
Utility being tossed into the side. Vitality not pushing just behind it yet. Seeing what Big counteract with. This game of cat and mouse continues. There was a brief moment before the smoke plumed. And now Faven, fully flashed, fully blinded, can't see anything. And once the flash is cleared, he will be on the bench. Things slow down now on the side of Big. They've been smoked off. They've been forced out of position. CSGO needs impact. But dupreeh manages to navigate them way across. Finally put down. Tizian comes in for one. tabseN now steps up, but masuda knocks him back down to the ground. And it doesn't seem as though Big have enough pieces to play with at this stage. They have to save.
They were telegraphing it's going to be a B hit for so very long. I am a little surprised why Big didn't peel more players back towards the B bomb side. So it was down to just the one defender. It was Favin again. We asked for him to deliver this time around. The flashbang was perfection. It was caught behind the pillar. The first player pushing into the bomb site, it was Dupree. He makes sure he checks the pillar position, finds him, and that's a B bomb site just busted wide open. It took a little bit of a while though, because the bomb was with ZywOo and it's a little bit far away, but there was no pressure being exerted by Vitality either towards mid, either towards ramp. And for Big, like considering the amount of utility being deployed towards the B bomb site, I was a couple of question marks there. They were still very committed. They were still so very convinced it was going to be a mid play coming out or a pincer play or could be a potential ruse. But because of that, allocating just to one player to defend the B bomb site. And once Vitality got that kill, the round was pretty much sealed. 4 players surviving as well for Vitality. At least for Big, they're able to save a couple of guns there. Now that, we said this is a very pivotal round for both the teams. For Vitality, a glorious opportunity to get to double digits and then slowly but surely start narrowing the deficit they have. For Big, that was a great chance for them to just break the money and run away with this game. This is the kill there for Dupree. I love the flashbang and Tizian jumping across, but great work from Basuda, finding both Tizian and Tapson, and from then on the round was done. Tac Timer getting called by Big. And you take a look at the money, Vince, like you can still eke out a buy out of this, you know, try and work around the AWP and the AK in the hands of Syrson and Crimbo, but it's a hard call to make. Instead, they opt to go for the light buy, and in my opinion, that is the correct decision being made here. Equalize the money out a little bit. Even if you lose everyone this round, you will still have a full buy come round number 23. For the time being, though, for Vitality, it's about maneuvering around the AWP in the hands of Syrson, avoiding the lethality of Crimbo with an AK-47. But what was looking like a very, very one-sided affair, it's starting to look a little bit more competitive now. Vitality, signs of life.
That pulse is getting stronger and stronger. The BPM on Big is getting higher and higher as the nerves build up, and Crimbo has had his kneecaps blown out. He'll limp back to the site on 16 HP, and considering he's one of the contingents with the rifle, that is certainly not good news. Deagle's alongside it with the AWP. Crimbo, though, will maintain, will keep the AK. Tabson having full faith in the young man's ability. Molotov fires by. Masuda, though, will take him down. And Crimbo and his AK have actually spilled down in an awkward position, not where Tabson could pick it up. That cost Tabson his life. He was trying to get across to the AK, and in doing so, Apex is given a second. And there is potentially 9 rounds ahead of Vitality. They still have to slip and slide their way past the dangers of Searson's AWP and the Desert Eagles and Faven and Tizian. But you better believe that they're going to be taking their sweet time here. And yes, Big don't want any part of this. They back off. Vitality will have 10.
What a back and forth game it's been. Like, you go back to the beginning, was Big winning the first couple of rounds and Vitality 4 rounds in a row. And then Big having pretty much a flawless CD side from then on, right? Winning, what, 8, 10 rounds in a row? And now Vitality clawing, battling back into the game. This has been feisty from the French-Danish side. And they get round number 10. In this half, 7 rounds played in the second half, and only 1 has been won by Big. And for our dear viewers tuning in right now, we can take a look right on top, right below that Vitality name. They have the lead in this series, this do-or-die series, to stay alive. And even if they win it, they're not quite done yet. They will still have yet another best of 3 to play tomorrow to make it to the playoffs. So the pressure was on Big. And we thought with that gargantuan lead they had in the first half, they'd done pretty much enough to take us to nuke. But Vitality say, no, we're not done yet. Come back here, fight. That's exactly what they're doing. Match paused. Bit of a technical issue, perhaps. Also, a bit of a update, I guess, on the A stream. It was you did point out there was a FaZe. Spoiler warning for those of you. Oh, there we go. Update right there. I say it to bring it up. 15-10 for FaZe. It was a 12-3 half on the CD side of Ancient. Copenhagen Flames bringing it back, but FaZe now with 5 opportunities to take us to map number 3 over there. Winner of that game is going to make it to the Legends, to the playoffs.
Yeah. Out of the Legends into the playoffs, and I think many people, it was a point they discovered it and they really discussed on the desk, and we also mentioned this when we got to cast Copenhagen Flames up against Spirit, that if they didn't win that game, it was going to be a very hard track for them to finalize their position in the playoffs. They'd be against some of the heavy hitters, the FaZes, the CLOUD9s of this world. If they can bring this back, they're already one map up. That would be absolutely huge in terms of storylines, but also that'll put FaZe into a bit of an awkward spot at 2-2. So we'd be definitely saying goodbye to some very big teams come the end of this Legend stage.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? The winner, even the winner of this game, whoever wins this game, and then you have the loser to Copenhagen's Flames and FaZe matchup. I'm just naming out some of the teams still who are battling it out for that playoff stage. We have NIP who have looked incredible thus far. Yeah. Sure, they got battered by NaVi on Ancient yesterday, but then NaVi likes battering almost anyone. So at any given time. You have Furia still in contention. You have G2. You can never count out outsiders. Ence is still there, Heroic is still there, Cloud9 still there. There's so many teams that you have to go up against in order to book your ticket. So yeah, for Copenhagen Flames, it's only going to get harder and harder the more deeper they languish, the longer rather they languish in the Legend stage. So does look like everyone's ready. We can hear the buys taking place as well. Not yet. We still see Big on the USPs. These are probably the most stylish T-side models, right? The guys on the ones in Vertigo. They got the shades, they got their nice white shirts, their waistcoats.
They look like they're ready for business. They're ready for action, for sure.
They kind of all look like Maniac. Well suited up, always a tie.
That's true. Maniac is incredibly well dressed, I have to admit.
Makes us all look bad.
Definitely.
Those shades look better than mine.
Just get a nice close-up on them.
Coal, black, glasses, no reflections whatsoever.
Doesn't shield you from flashbangs, important to mention. If there's any new people watching, like, hold on a second, is that pay to win? Nope. Has no impact at all.
We were talking about the night vision goggles we had in CS 1.6.
Oh, man.
It was so useless. It cost $700. Here we go. We're back. We're back in, ladies and gentlemen. The technical issue has been swiftly resolved. Surson has got money, but he doesn't need it. He's got the AWP save from a couple of rounds prior. A1's coming out from Big. They would have time to talk things out as well amongst them and figure out how they're going to stop this comeback in its tracks. Vitality still trail by 2. From an 11-4 lead that Big had, this is a big comeback. Look at the aggression here from Big towards the stairs. Favin in a beautiful position. They won't check him. He's going to find one, and he's looking for more. Oh, never mind. Missoula, Magisk, and Dupree, they all strike. And you blink and you miss it, Vince. Crimble left alone, probably left scratching his head, wondering how it all went wrong.
Yeah, Zayu on his way out, it's like that Rorschach scene from Watchmen. You think you're locked in it. You're locked in it with me! Just as everyone gets wrecked as they try to run away from the crime scene. It was a great start. You get Zayu, and then everything collapses.
I don't even know where some of the other kills came in from. Masuda with a 3K as well. Just the trades was so immediate, instant from Vitality. I need to see the replay, because that was so quick. There we go. They were actually pushing both extremities of the map. Masuda finding both the kills at A all alone. That should not be allowed to happen. Big are just getting slaughtered right now. Now, because Surson had so much of extra money to work with, the AWP is still going to be coming out. But for the rest of them, it's going to be just the pistols and armor. They need to find an answer quick here, Vince, or Big. It's starting to slip out of their hands. I might even say it slipped out of the control a while ago.
Oh yeah, it has. This is just their desperate clambering, the remnants of their CT side that they're trying to get back into. Everything working against them. A hefty halftime score has been brought down to a 1-round deficit. Tizian will have some opportunity. Strikes once, but there won't be a second to follow it up. And Dupree is now closing the gap, but Faven is still alive on the site with a deagle. Ran out of ammunition, wanted to put down the smoke. And in amongst that action, the prodigy himself, Zaiwu, will stand tall and deliver. Big have Searson still, though. That AWP at the start of the round maintains its position, but he looks more like he's looking for exit frags than anything else. tabseN's whittled his way onto lower staircase. CSGO with a big pick. There is no kit between the two players, but there are two smokes and a HE, and still plenty of time left. CSGO's going in for this. They want this. They can sense the blood in the water, but CSGO narrowly navigates his way across, not to get fragged, and in doing so, his teammate is deemed forfeit, and he has to pick that AWP back up and save once more.
They've tied it up, Vince. They have tied it up. And somehow, this AWP in the hands of Syrson, it's like he seemingly had it almost every single round in the past 5 or 6, but it has been completely ineffective. Somehow, Vitality have been able to navigate around it, and he hasn't really found much impact. Sure, he gets a kill over there, but doesn't really matter. The round was still pretty much lost. The buy is going to be coming in. Bear in mind that was just a half investment coming in from the big side just so they could have this full buy. But Vitality, we question, would there be a comeback taking place? This is more than a comeback. Right now, they have the momentum their way. They have the money favoring them. They have everything going their way. And they're looking to close this out in a 2-mapper.
They're sprinting towards the finish line big. And their hopes of a playoff position in the Antwerp arena. Perhaps tabseN takes a straight through the wall as well. Knocked down to 65, has to reposition. They see the trajectory of that Molotov. They know roughly where he is, but they still extinguish it. It has forced out a lot of big aggression though, and tabseN gets in amongst the smoke. He's pushed down. He's been spotted by Apex and thwarted. The barrel of the gun protruded through the smoke, and that cost him everything.
Heavy posturing as well towards the B stairs. So for Big, they're getting just so much of information. Syrson, though, he could get the timing right here, but the players cross on over. He could find one, but the trade could be immediate. They could line up for him. They indeed do. And he finds Masuda. And Magisk, he's been tagged on to 14 HP, but has pulled off the escape. The great escape by Magisk. At least equilibrium has been established for the time being for Big.
Those scales can quickly come undone for either team. 35 seconds. Smokes and mollies being exchanged. dupreeh needs his entry, and he collapses. Crimbo crushed from the AK-47. Flashes proceed to push. Tizian caught in no man's land, needs to get at least one kill. Is going to take the fight to Vitality, but that backfires. As ZywOo now gets sprayed down. Farman 1-for-1 trade, but he's weakened 2 players up. But CSGO sprayed to oblivion, and Vitality regained the lead.
dupreeh! What a round from him. He opens it up towards short Vince, and the trades were so very good. Even ZywOo hitting that blinder of a headshot with a player, it was Tizian, behind the smoke. He didn't rattle off a single bullet, and he just peers out, trying to catch him off guard. But he's so very good. Look at the shot from dupreeh. Walks straight into his crosshair. And amongst all the chaos and madness, dupreeh reigns supreme. Vitality with the lead, 13-12 now. And again for Big. Again, you have the AWP in hands of Syrson. Again, you have the pistols, but what can he do with it? Nothing, seemingly. This slow march from Vitality, it's unstoppable, Vince.
Continues to move its way onto its objectives. This time, the B site has a bullseye painted on it. And Vitality looking for that precision once more to throw the dart perfectly. Apex, gift wrap to freebie. CSGO, even while Flash still nullifies it, and tabseN though on the receiving end of a battering in middle. CSGO once again steps up to the plate and delivers, but dupreeh is giving Vitality the advantage one more time. CSGO is still in with a chance. Molly is down onto him, has to flick, has to reposition to keep himself in the fight, narrowly missing out on his chances. He is trying his damnedest. He is trying everything in his power to get Big into this matchup. But now Crimbo is the last man standing. Big frag with a 5-7, but ZywOo with a Tech 9 will seal the deal for a 14th time.
Syrson finally waking up with the AWP, starting to hit some blinders, but still, it's not enough, Vince. You can see Apex. Smiles starting to break out here. There were no smiles a while ago, Vince. There were no smiles at the end of the first half, but Vitality, calm, composed, and it is looking a little grim in the big camp. Gob B taking attack time of the third of this series to talk things through. They know this is a very precarious position they find themselves in. Vincent have won 1 round in the CD side. Yeah. 1 round. That is absolutely abysmal for Big. And here we go. Vitality, they are well and truly on fire. They are right now a raging inferno. And Big are just getting burned to a crisp. The buy is going to be coming in again. Syrson has the AWP again. But Vitality, almost unstoppable. They're taking fights at will on either side of the map, on both the bomb sites, and is just out-dueling and outplaying Big every single time.
Now, Big may have the extinguishers out, but it's basically like a puddle at this stage. There is no putting out these flames. Vitality putting down the liquid fire on the scaffolding, looking to burn those beams and try and take control over this side of the map one more time. Middle also being aggressed on, simultaneously moving their way through, just flowing through the map. Syrson has been a standout player though. He's had a lot of impact with this AWP, as you mentioned in the first half, was instrumental in all of their success. And Crimbo's forced out. Big kill goes in for 1, bit of damage onto the second player as well. He's done his job, but this is where that mid contingent really comes to the forefront. They've got to try and repel this push, and Tizian does just that. Forces Magisk away. Maybe Big can mount a second round after all. Or perhaps not. Dupree is keeping that flame burning. Syrson simmers it down somewhat. Opposite number of Zywoo is suppressed, and favored should have the bomb back down again. Dupree in a 1-on-3 with no control over the bomb is not looking good to pick up Vitality's 15th. But if he can just do a bit of damage on his way out, that may be good enough, because the finances still haven't fully recovered on Big. Dupree may be given the opportunity against Faven, but the timing works against him. Big, though, have got their second CT round finally.
Great run from Faven there. The flank coming in, taking down Masuda, who had just retrieved the C4, and Big finally can breathe a bit, but it's not a sigh of relief, Vince. It's still in a very precarious position, and this is a very important field to win for Crimbo. And then this one, Zywoo walking into the crosshair of Syrson, and you pointed it out as well, Dupree, if you can inflict a little bit more damage onto the economy, it could be worth its weight in gold. Already going for it? The run boost, oh, never mind, just going to be the smokes. I would love to see it. You don't see it that often, the run boost catching the CTs off guard. Syrson has found a little bit of impact now. Looking for more. The flashes are so good. The flashes are perfection. 2 flashes back to back. Syrson's dead. 4v5.
Syrson's life, that could very well be the round as well, because that's such a huge part of the puzzle that's been thrown to the ground as they desperately clamber to try and figure out the solution. Big rotate in 3 players, CT and B site respectively. Double player stack in mid, looking to try and attain and assess the situation. But look how slow Vitality are taking this play. They've got plenty of time. They're okay to let Big sweat this one out for a while longer.
Absolutely, and Big, they have invested so many players to this mid and mid position, but they have no real control. Tapson's now going to peel back from mid. And on the A bomb site, we only have Crimbo with an A1 playing at the back. 45 seconds now, though. Did Dupree spot a player? I'm not too sure there. They're slowly creeping back towards B, and they could actually be walking into the trap here. Big have 3 players. 1 on the site, that is Faven, and 2 nearby. And Dupree looking to find the opening.
Have Vitality taken too long? Have they overthought this? Here comes the smokes. Crimbo needs to rotate through. Tizian and Faven pull back to the generators. The smokes are good. The flashes on point. Molotovs all over the site. Now going to start to clear. But Faven in a good enough position to thwart this push. Spray through the smoke is good. Faven gets 2, but Magisk and Dupree will counteract. 5 seconds left in the timer. Dupree puts an end to the life of the Remainer. And I think if that kill doesn't come down, they may not have had time. That was incredibly close.
Absolutely. I did feel like Vitality had let that window of opportunity close. They get the first kill towards mid. They slow things down a little bit, and that allows Big to, well, basically poke a number of members towards mid. That was a chance for them to maybe sneak in towards stairs, maybe go for an A hit. But this spray from Dupree. Dupree is coming in so clutch. Masuda, mind you, he stood towards mid for so very long. He was low on HP. The flank was perfect. And when the final CT looked to take out Masuda, Dupree walks in and takes him down. 15-13, Vitality on map and match point.
Apex in, coming out second best in that spray. tabseN keeps himself alive. Flashes are good, and Crimbo's push even better. Masuda, the only Vitality player that has struck in this round, but that's going to be coming to an abrupt end. 28 HP becomes 0, and HG's being tossed in. Big looking good to maybe get their third round here, and considering that Tizian has just threaded the eye of the needle with the Deagle, this round should be a done deal. It seems we may very well be going the distance, and Big holding on for dear life.
The Deagle shot from Tizian. He has been quiet, but at least this time he delivers. They've seen the bomb as well. They know exactly where he is. And dupreeh, gotta say, his days are numbered. They all peek him together. A couple of upgrades coming in. One more round remains in regulation. For Vitality, they win it. They're through to tomorrow, where they battle once more to stay alive, to make it to the arena. 16-14 would be the win they have for Big. Sure, it's been a rough CT side, but if they can somehow take this one round, it is OT. From then on, Vince, it's anyone's game. Everything gets reset. In fact, I might say Big might even have the advantage if it goes to OT, right? The fact that Vitality were not able to close out the series of that monumental comeback. Will they stumble at the very last step is the question. 5 seconds remaining in the freeze time. Vitality, they have everything to work with. No AWP for ZywOo. He's got his trusty Kalashnikov in his hands. No op as well on either side. Big is going to be wielding the AK, safe in the previous round, and the M4s. An early aggression here. The nades getting lobbed into with sandbags. tabseN looking to find something. Crimbo as well, but his vision's going to be obscured. He could find ZywOo though.
Top angle, double spray is good. tabseN and Crimbo both coming with 2. OT might still be an option after all. Apex taking a bit of damage. Major's getting pushed off and punctured on the other side of the map. There's no success to be found on Vitality. It seems like Big have finally awoken from their slumber on the CT side. Better late than never. There's still a way forward, but fabin's going to be closing the avenue. And going in for one more. Big can now breathe a collective sigh of relief, but OT is just around the corner.
Oh, Apex, head in his hands, emotive as usual. He knows it. He knows they had it. He knows they had that one. That was an incredible comeback, Vince, from Vitality. But the final hurdle, the final couple of rounds, Big are able to clinch it. And it came down to tabseN and Crimbo finding simultaneous kills, and fabin as well, shutting down the B bomb site. Now what do they do? Vitality. Still looking dangerous, still looking deadly. But now Big starting to put up a little bit more of a defense. $10,000 the buy money. So an op who is going to be comfortably placed in surson's hands. Double aggro play towards stairs taking place once more, and it's dupreeh. I think he saw him. I think he saw the player cross by.
He knows he's there, but he's not entirely sure as to exactly where Tizian is. Great play from dupreeh. Excellent read, exquisite execution. And just what Vitality were hoping for. These last few rounds have been pretty dire from their perspective. Plus the mood maybe dropping a little bit. Getting that first kill just builds up that confidence again. But can they pivot into more frags after that? Apex coming out second best. tabseN survives on 4 HP somehow.
fabin's position here, Vince, it's critical. If he falls, site's lost, but he's not going to fall. He's going to stand and deliver. But the trade is so very quick from dupreeh.
Quick fire frags back and forth, 1 minute left on the clock, but Vitality starting to get a little bit of control over on the B side. I say that, but they've still not passed across, and csGO is here with the AWP. Keep in mind, there's no smokes for this cross either. So there's flashes coming in first, but there's Crimbo sat up on the window, pushing them back once more. Now counteractive grenades come in, generators, but additionally Molotovs in succession to one another, and dupreeh backs out of there. Oh, this is all a ruse. It's ZywOo. Do as much as you can on the site. See if you can keep them interested while dupreeh runs across to the A side of the map and tries to get this plant down. tabseN is on A, but he's on 4 HP. 1 bullet and he's gone. ZywOo is still trying to sell this. Still trying to get some buyers across. But dupreeh thinks better of it because ZywOo's made inroads onto the site. He's bypassed all of these defenses. dupreeh has time to go in for this plan, but he needs ZywOo to have impact. He needs his AWPer to have a little bit of lead.
5
and
seconds.
He's landed it onto the frag. The bomb's now getting planted down with just a second to spare. Vitality may have pulled this out of the fire. Searson 40 HP, tabseN 4 HP. And ZywOo with a freebie onto tabseN. It looks like Vitality have stolen this 2v3 and made it theirs. But Searson, down but never truly out of the situation, is coming in late. He has no kit, but he's landed the first frag. And he backs out of there. The kit was on the window, and dupreeh puts him down in the back. Vitality played that to perfection.
That could not have been called any better. Take a bow, Vitality. That's brilliant, Vince. dupreeh running. He made a lot of noise there.
Yeah.
Right? And then just timing, the perfect timing to run on back, allowing ZywOo, as you pointed out, to slowly creep in to the bomb site. There was 4 seconds on the clock when he planted the bomb. That was the best 2v3 we've seen thus far today. Absolutely fantastic from Vitality. A round that looked like it was done.
And it started with dupreeh's frag through the smoke onto Tizian as well.
True.
He came full circle. He's 25 kills right now. He's top fragging. The only player better is FaZe on the CTs with 27.
And don't forget, the shots ZywOo was hitting there, the CT was holding the angle from window, and ZywOo just crossing the generator. He doesn't miss. The amount of impact he's found, the amount of impact everyone's found on this Vitality side. We spoke of Magisk and how he has just kind of come alive, but there was that... I had my doubts with dupreeh. I'm like, can dupreeh deliver when everyone else is around him? And boy, oh boy, the amount of impact dupreeh has had has been incredible.
We're not done just yet, Blair. The OT is just starting to warm up. And Apex puts lead through smoke. Finds Crimbo. Discovers a player advantage. 40 seconds remain. Vitality, as ever, keeping their options open. 2 players coming through mid, something we haven't seen a great deal of. Elevate is now under real threat. It's forcing Searson's hand away.
What?
Shuts down Magisk in the back. Masuda can see the barrel of the gun. There's no way they can deal with this just yet because Vitality are spreading their way out onto the site where FaZe lays in wait with his A1S. So much damage done. Masuda trying desperately to get himself a couple, but he will fall. And now Apex in a 1-on-3 with 14 seconds left. 42 hit points to his name. And he's hoping that one of these CTs pushes out. He's going to get aggressive. Searson around the corner, though, will put him down where he stands. And big bounce right back.
That must have been a little bit of miscomms coming in from Vitality. They had a player pushed in deep. That was Masuda. And he knew there was a player nearby. He saw the barrel. There was Searson, of course, with the AWP. And yet his teammate just goes up window. This is the play. Magisk, maybe the comms didn't come through, that Searson was there, but just goes running past. That's a free kill right there. And Masuda, only good for 1 as well from that position he found himself in. A bit of a stumble from Vitality here after what was a beautifully played round earlier. And that was such an important round to win for Big Vince, because again, it's 10K start money.
Yeah.
If they lost that round and lost all the players, they would have just pistols to work with here. This is so unfortunate for Faven. Caught out in the open. The flashbang is so very good from his teammates, but he's stuck in the corner, and he will be taken down. Tizian at least able to find dupreeh before.
Yeah, it just felt like a room. Light shut off, everyone just closing their eyes and swinging for the fences, and once the flash clears, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but it is dupreeh that goes down, and he has been simply sensational so far on this Vertigo. That's a big scalp to take, but the other top fragger, FaZe, also falls by the wayside. The 2 heavy hitters are down and out for the count, just shy of a minute on the clock. Vitality making moves on middle again.
Pressure being exerted towards ramp, though. They're trying to sell this Vince, and there's a walk-on towards mid. Apex is trying to sell everything, and look at his rotation. It's drawing out. Tizian slowly peeling away. Timing is everything, but it's going to find the first. Can he find a second? Yes, he can, but ZywOo able to trade, and Apex continues to push on ahead. This is, again, a topsy-turvy round. ZywOo rotating back towards A. Apex with a forward positioning, and if you can find one here, maybe onto Crimbo, this could be the round for Vitality.
They have no idea where Apex currently resides. He's just checking all of his angles. He knows the headshot angle is clear. ZywOo making a bit of noise, trying to draw away a bit of fire. Apex now up. HE is good. Molotov is so good as well. 12 HP left for ZywOo, but he's going to get aggressive. Frag out can fall back. There's no flanking play coming up for Big. They're both pushing through from the CT side. Flashes in. ZywOo once again nails the frag, and now Searson stands against him. 12 HP playing the 100. He's on the side. ZywOo misses his shot, and the full defuse comes in. Heartbreak for Vitality, but a huge zest of life for Big. They take the lead going into the second half of OT.
Oh boy, ZywOo did everything humanly possible there, Vince, on 13 HP with the AWP, but in the end they know, they're like, all right, we have the smoke blooming right now, we have at least that to work with, stick the bomb. ZywOo not having a rifle nearby to swap to, had to take that one shot, and he had one opportunity, and unfortunately, it missed. Big. At the very end here, Vince, have they done enough to take us to map number 3 is the question. This is just squeaky bum time. 17-16, Big taking the lead, heading into the second half of the first OT. And Vitality, that massive comeback. Again, you got to remember, the comeback they did was on the T side. The CT side was rough, Vince. They really didn't show anything for me to have any faith on the CT side, and that is something which would come back and haunt them here, as now it's their turn to defend.
And I think that's going to be reflected with the fact that ZywOo didn't really have any impact in that first half. All of it came on the T side. He goes into the M4A4 as opposed to the AWP. So it's full rifles in play for Vitality. And in doing so, they're taking more control over ramp. This was a consistent hotbed of contestation, which typically went the way of Big. So I like this little change around. 3 players stack up here, and Vitality maybe about to spring the trap, because Big, they are hungry to try and take some control. Smoke's now coming down. Molly's being tossed in on top of it. Bit of a stalemate, but ZywOo's got the close angle. Flashbang up and over, but he's completely read that situation. And Tabson got tagged by the Molotov, which gave his position away. Searson over the flick before Apex comes back in for one of his own. But now Masuda has a chance to spray down all 3 players. They line up for him. It's 2, and here comes Apex, but he whiffs the spray. It could be good enough, though. Faven down to 21, and a HG, 1 HP remaining. Faven, a Guardian Angel, descends to keep him alive, but for what purpose? Is it just delaying the inevitable, or is Faven about to pull off something truly spectacular? He just sits in, waits, anticipates, pontificates on the idea that maybe a rotation is coming through, wants them to be divided so he can conquer them, and Dupree's backed off. Faven actually has a chance here. He's walked through the middle of the CTs. Time is an issue he has to contend with. He wants to get one before going for this. That Molotov is perfection. Gonna go in for the plant as well, but Magic's wide swings. He sees the time. He knows what's coming up. Yep. He's too experienced to fall for those shenanigans.
Yeah, nice try from Faven there, but that would have been an inhuman clutch, an almost impossible clutch to pull off. ZywOo played that so well. He avoids, he doesn't stick to the corner, Vince. So when the first player checks him and taps to check the corner, he's like, oh, it's empty. And then he re-peeks. And then the re-aggression by Masuda. Honestly, he should have had more than one, but Apex was so good at supporting his teammates, always trading every single time, leaving Faven alone in the 1 versus 2. 17-17, it tied up once more. The buy is going to be coming in against Searson with the AWP, and once more the aggression, but somehow Searson finds Apex through the smoke and almost finds a second.
He nearly found a second and a third. They lined up for that shot. I thought it was going to be a collateral headshot at one point. Oh, this game is everything that you love about Counter-Strike. In the legend stage of the Antwerp Major, Big refusing to go down without a fight. And if you've just joined us, they lose this map, they are eliminated. That is what's on the line for both of these teams, and Tizian removes Dupree with haste. And in doing so, B site is now open. It's completely vacated. Vitality have a decision to make here, because their money's not exactly ideal on a couple of these players, but I assume they're still going to go in for it. 3 players clumping up, Tizian gets bested. ZywOo takes the A4, uses it against him. And time is ticking away. Molotov's lined up onto the window. Now tossed into position. I'm not sure there's a smoke to deal with that. Indeed there is. There's also a flanking element coming in with a former Sizen. So all of this is a race against time. But Big don't need him to show his hand. They have that round locked in before Searson's flank gets to the forefront.
How back and forth has it been for Big? Now, on map point. A map, in all honesty, at the end of the first half, I thought this was a done deal. I thought we were going to be going to nuke almost half an hour ago.
Yeah.
And for Vitality to stumble here at the very end would be so gutting. It's not just about the 10th place in the server here, Vince. It's also about the two legends, the two veterans in the form of Goppy and Zonic. It's kind of like just a mental fight playing against each other. They used to once upon a time, back in the good old days, as I like to call it, 1.6. Both world champions. Here we go. Big. One more round, and we see map number 3. Vitality. They take this round. It's going to be OT number 2. It's not quite done yet here. And for the side of Vitality, because they're able to get the first round, they still have more than enough money to go for a very solid buy. Look at this from a gist. Look at the aggression towards mid. But Tizian, he knows this. He can catch both of them from behind.
You can hear him as well shouting down his microphone. He is relaying that information as clearly and distinctly as possible. That gets repeated. Magisk just losing 10 HP, but Tizian's still alive, still maintaining control over the ladder room. Masuda at the back of Spawn, trying to deny any kind of rotations from taking shape. But will this just force Big into going aggressive onto the side already? They're on the ramp, they're stuck there, 2 players have rotated in. This is such an awkward position on the side of Big.
They're trapped, they need to commit, they know this, and the longer they wait, the clothes of Vitality are going to keep wrapping around them. Molotov, a couple of seconds too late though. tabseN's already crept his way up towards ramp. The nade's going to be a dead giveaway. ZywOo once again has to be the hero. They go for the boost, the timing is perfect!
Oh, the wall bang though from Tizian's up to the task. But it kills Apex, not ZywOo. So the man is still alive. Still a threat. With the A1S joined by Magisk. A duo of tantalizing prospects to try and lock this down, take us to second OT. There's a flank coming in. The spray down not quite there for both players, but the flash preceding that push before ZywOo takes the head of Tizian and knocks Crimbo down to 10. 30 seconds to play with. Crimbo's been in quite a few of these positions already today, with varying degrees of success, trying to fake out, and there is dupreeh. Be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. And second OT is coming up.
Holy, what a round from Vitality. Just the double push towards mid, information conveyed, but doesn't still matter. The wraparound takes place.
I'm gonna give it a shot. Otherwise, my 2 views spawn, you know.
Okay, but to listen. No.
But to listen, no. Gotta love Apex. Heard something about dupreeh wrapping around and trying to get kills, so maybe some aggression again coming in. And that's what it means, because that gives them another chance to finish this off in 2 maps.
The amount of veterans in this team, right, on the Vitality side, it's insane. How much talent and how much experience is in that lineup. Here we go, though. Big. Once more. Having to try and close it out in yet another OT. Op train, ZywOo again spotted at Searson. The second time he finds him. The way he was able to just track him with his AWP as well. Fantastic stuff. And in the meantime, that's going to draw the rotation, Vince. The B bomb set is empty, and dupreeh's got to go big again. He's got an AWP.
He does. This is maybe the wraparound he was talking about. It's going to be 1. Not anticipating that. We saw double ops a couple of times over on Mirage. Vitality, though, have not really bust this play out as of yet on Vertigo. Molly out to the side. Apex in no position to fend off this push. They've completely vacated the premises as a result of this middle aggression. And now Tizian in for 1. Apex with a spray only musters about 50 HP worth of damage, and Masuda goes down to the hands of tabseN. dupreeh, last man standing, last spotted in mid, and now walking over the corpse of his teammates on the B side.
This is such a good call from Big. Dupree, you're probably wondering, you're in 1v3, guys. You just got the B bomb side. Why would it fall back towards A? But immediately pivots back. And if I'm Dupree, I hold on to the AWP. And I toss it over towards ZywOo come the next round. The thing with the CD side is, especially with the with this lost bonus money, if you lose 2 rounds back-to-back, and you don't save any of your weapons, you have nothing to work with come round number 3. You will literally have pistols, maybe a scout or SMGs. So this AWP could be very instrumental. What a take of the B bomb side, though, and for Vitality, they were just caught off guard. Apex, he needed to at least find one, but right behind the triple boxes, there were like 3 players looking his direction. Masuda just good for the 1 kill, and that was off the... and he was right on top of the boxes as well, on the bomb side, trying to hold the off angle, able to find one, but the flash completely destroying him. Nice time to Dupree towards mid, and Tizian catching the rotation. This is the position from Apex, right? He was hoping the flashbang found someone, he gets taken down, and Masuda was so blinded and out in the open, there was nothing he could do. Great trading coming out from Big, great utility usage as well, going for that quick play towards B once they knew where Dupree was. Vitality, still, they have the op, which was saved by Dupree earlier in the hands of ZywOo. Again, the fast play coming up towards ramp.
Had to slow down a little bit though as they get round the cusp of the ramp side. Masuda round the back. An aggressive play we've seen before. Typically Tizian is watching this angle. He is still watching his back though. Oh, he's heard the footsteps. Masuda's got such a fast flank coming into play, and he's joined by Apex. 2 players here. They need ZywOo to pull off some magic on the side. There's one. Flash down in the meanwhile though. Now Magisk steps up, delivers some fatal shots, and the bomb's been dropped down on ramp. Surely there's no way back into this round, or perhaps there is. Perhaps I spoke too soon, because tabseN comes out with nowhere with 2 frags. But he only has 8 health to his name, and Dupree is full on hit points. Even if this plant comes into play, it heavily favors Dupree. The timing here is everything, and Dupree is taking ramp control. 50 seconds left on the clock.
Dupree is following behind. Now he knows tabseN's gone back towards B. And tabseN has to be very, very careful how he clears out all these angles. So that's going to buy a lot of time for Dupree. So if tabseN opts to head towards the B bomb site, he could literally just be walking into Dupree, coming up the stairs. So what does he do? He thinks he's bypassed him, Vince. He's so sure where Dupree is, but Dupree... Is tabseN going to come back? He is. That's it. That's the round. Oh, Dupree, a window of opportunity might have slipped by. He could actually pull off the escape here.
He doesn't shoot. There's 10 seconds to go. He's got enough time for the plant, I want to think. Incendiary as well could buy him up a little bit more time. Now, Dupree does have a nade. This nade could be everything, but he's gone the other way. Dupree's lining up the grenade, but it lands the wrong side of the boxes, and tabseN sprays him down with so little HP. tabseN takes this and runs away with it.
Oh, Dupree. Oh, that is rough. That is so rough. He played that to perfection until it came to shooting at him. He had so many opportunities, Vince, to close that one out. So many chances. All the heroics is pulled off thus far in this map, and that's the one he loses. I just refuse to believe it.
There's so many moments that could have gone the other way, and how Big, from strength to strength, Tizian with 1, and Crimbo watching mid. They've seen this happen too many times. Mid control has fallen prey to Vitality, and now CSGO striking from lower ramp. Waiting for ZywOo to push into his crosshair. Flash is good, but CSGO peaks a bit too early. CSGO's now been bested. Dupree 1. Needed to get 2 from that encounter realistically to give ZywOo a chance, but it is ZywOo we're talking about. 30 kills already to his name. Crimbo in an awkward position, and ZywOo didn't realize that was Molotov. He runs in, nearly gets burnt alive, and exactly the audio sound cue that gives to the remainder of Big. They now know exactly where he is. They can position on the staircase, position on window, and ZywOo is living on borrowed time. As good as he is, he's gonna get shut down in the back, and Big clean sweep their T-half. It is important to mention though, Blair, both teams have typically shone brighter on their T-half as opposed to their CT side.
Yeah, but this just seems like Big might have just done enough here, right?
Sure.
A flawless T side. No smiles now for Vitality. Has it all been for naught? That comeback. Good hold here from Tizian and Crimbo. Both the players waiting mid. They know that Vitality like going for the two-man push towards mid. And in the end, nothing ZywOo could do. He didn't even have a kit to work with, Vince, and all they're getting tagged on by the Molotov. A dead giveaway is his position. So for Vitality to take us to OT number 3, it is going to require, well, just a flawless T side again. We've seen them have some incredible rounds on the T side, but can they do it once more? They pulled off that monumental comeback on the in regulation. This might be far gone. Masuda, fast pace here.
Very fast pace, running into the eyes of Crimbo though, and being off to a great start. Masutra and Dupree though bounce back with 2 of their own, and there is ZywOo once again. HE up and over, won't be affecting Tizian much, but that's not really the problem that he has to face first and foremost. The priority list is 4 Ts breathing down the neck of A site, and with so much time left, they don't have to fully commit to this. Dupree is offered an island by himself behind the sandbags, but ZywOo's now waiting, anticipating this play. Tizian wide swings him though, and ZywOo won't be able to nail him in. They know where these players are, so HE and Incendiary will land on both of them and cordon them off from this area. Tizian could still make something big happen, but instead it's Masuda that trades evenly. They know Faven is stuck in this angle. They need to wrap around with 2 players strong from the right-hand side. But Faven is bypassing both of this aggression. He goes into the smoke, plays around it, but there is Dupree to shut him down. 1 down, 2 to go for Vitality.
30 bombs for ZywOo, Dupree, and Masuda, Vince. Trio have really stepped up here. What incredible pace coming out as well as ZywOo through the smoke, runs out. He was the one with the bomb, mind you. And I like how they slow things down to 2v4. There's no need to over-aggress, use up all the utility. We're able to isolate the fights, trade efficiently, and now big. 2 more chances to close this one out, Vince.
2 more opportunities. Vitality had some in regulation. Faven flashed multiple times, but can use the red box as a bit of cover. Lands the dink as well onto Magix. And that forces him away instantly. He's now susceptible to being HE'd or Incendiary down, so he has to be very careful indeed. And Searson plucks out ZywOo on ramp. A massive pick of epic proportions on Big, and they have every opportunity now to close this game out.
But just 10 HP, 3 of them. They're just telegraphing where they're going to be coming in from. And now the 3 CDs lying in wait. They're going to try and shut this one down. Vince and Sandry are going to be lobbed in as well, delaying them even further. Now for Vitality, they do have time to work with. But first, they need to find a pick, an opening, which hasn't gone their way. And you can see Big now slowly falling back, playing a little bit more of a passive angle. Faven is going to be left by his lonesome towards B, but he does have backup nearby. He's very low as well. And here it comes.
Flash, but still alive. The thorn in the side. The pain in the rear end on Vitality, but they're looking to try and take the fight. If they're going down, they're going out on their shield. And Faven, the meanwhile, though, is still alive, still kicking, still fragging, still cleaning up with taps in as well. And this is looking like a done deal. Unless Magisk can evict the CTs squatting on the site. 18 seconds, 10 HP, and the bomb down in an awkward position. Surely this is unwinnable. Molly down onto window. Now gonna look for the plant, but there's the dunk downtown from Crimbo with the HE, and we head to a 3rd map.
I feel so lucky to have witnessed that map. What a performance from both the teams. Big initially running away in the first half, Vitality bringing it back with a massive comeback, but to eventually fall to Gob and his men in double overtime. Big, they get it done. It wasn't convincing, Vince. It was belabored. They had to pull out everything to get it done at the end. And despite 3 players on the side of Vitality crossing over 30 kills, they're not able to do so. We're going to be heading to Nuke. And my, oh my, what a battle that was.
Oh, that might be the map of the major so far as I'm concerned, at least the one that we've casted. I think we are blessed with some incredible moments, great AWPing. I think everyone pulled their weight. You know, we had moments from Searson, from Zywoo, Dupree, Magisk, Masuda had some huge rounds as well. And then you look across to the big, Tizian had some great entry frags, some great holds. But I think Faven has to be the player that you really highlight here. Some of his plays on B site stalled them for 5, 10, 15 seconds long enough for the rest of his team to come in and close rounds out. That was a phenomenal comeback from Big. But let's not forget that at the start of this game, it looked like Vitality were going to get completely crushed. So we had this weird roller coaster where Vitality came back, and then Big came back, and then they ended up extending and winning in the end.
Absolutely. We saw some really, really good rounds in individual performances. We saw some weird rounds as well, and also individually some slip-ups taking place. Dupree, what an incredible game. But that one round, Vince, the 1v1 he had against Tapson, that might haunt him. Of course, I don't think he knew how low Tapson was, but if that was a round which led to, you know, them losing this and then on Nuke things going topsy-turvy for them, it is something he might come to regret. But right now, the man of the match, fittingly so, is going to be Fab, and he was a difference maker. Even in that final round, he'd been tagged down, I do believe, to like red HP, like 13 HP or something, and he still finds a couple of kills and makes it so easy for Big to close it out in style. But we're going to be going to Nuke, and at this point, I don't know what to expect.
I have no idea. It was good to see at least Zywoo had smiles at the end. Obviously, Apex is always very animated, head in his hands, was looking pretty lost for words. And it's understandable. They know they could have won that. They could have already had this one tied up. It could be 2, or they could have already eliminated Big. But it all comes down, as you said, effectively to a best of 1 on Nuke. And we're going to find out which of these 2 teams is eliminated after this short break.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG Bet. This is real.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get too much better than that Vertigo game. Let's be honest, we had everything. Twists, turns, clutches, crazy spray downs, couple whiffs as well, and plenty of story moments. However, none of that matters anymore, Blair, because Nuke is coming up, and this is our final map in this elimination match. It's a 1-2 match. Whoever loses Nuke, simply put, is gone from the major.
Yeah, and we can take a look at the scoreline as well. A quick recap, considering how long the second map was. We saw Mirage going the way of Vitality in a very convincing fashion. It was their own map pick, and then on Big's map pick, as we saw earlier, it was an incredible first half, 11-4 the scoreline, but then it was Vitality able to bring it back to OT. But in the end, eventually, Big, they hold on. Heading into Nuke, though, you look at the maps played, it's not looking ideal for Vitality. In fact, when I was trying to kind of theory craft which maps we might be seeing here, I expected Nuke to be picked by Big, and for maybe, you know, Vitality to go for the Mirage, or perhaps even a Dust 2 and whatnot. But heading into the final map here, Vitality, despite the star power they possess, despite how convincing they looked on map 1, despite the comeback they pulled off in map number 2, you have to kind of give a slight little edge to Big, because they have looked pretty solid in this map.
Sure. I would say, though, as a caveat to play devil's advocate for the neutral's perspective here, how many of those games that we saw in the stats on Nuke were an all-important decider matchup for the potential playoff position at the major? This is where it takes on a whole different aspect. You can see that huddled together, unity. I will also say, by the way, we get to share, like, obviously the sort of dining area with the players. The loudest team by far that's always laughing is Vitality. They're always having a good time. They're always cracking one another up. There's always a really good, positive atmosphere around these guys.
And like 60% of that is just one guy at Apex,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
He's very animated. You can say Zonic and Apex being very, very animated as they talk things through the one final group hug before they jump into the server. Gotta say, though, I think you kind of grazed a point I wanted to touch upon as a deciding map in a must-win do-or-die game. For the side of Big, sure, you have veterans like Tapson at the helm, you have Godby sitting behind him as the coach, but in the server, someone like Crimbo, for example, like, this is probably the most stressful game he's ever played in his life, right? The academy player coming up, even players like Tizian, even Favon, they've been around for a bit, but not really at the highest tiers of Counter-Strike. So this is a supremely high-pressure game, even though it's in a map they're very comfortable on. Then you move over to the Vitality side, and you just have oodles and oodles of experience. Multiple major winners. Zonic's there behind as well. And then ZywOo, sure, he hasn't won a major yet, but one of the best players. And I guess you can be forgiven for saying he will be the best player in the server. So they might have a little bit of a mental edge heading into map number 3.
I would say, though, on the best player on the server, Mark, under normal circumstances, absolutely. We'll say Searson had moments of utter brilliance on that Vertigo. When he was tracking ZywOo with the smallest of gaps in the scaffolding, he got that shot like 3 times, and ZywOo had no idea what was going on. So much so, in actual fact, ZywOo wasn't even playing with the AWP on the CT side. He was taking the A4, or he was being dropped across an A1S.
But that's also why ZywOo is so very great, right? Like, we talk about him and his AWPing ability, but give him a rifle, he can pull off magical things with that as well. And that is why he's so versatile, so very impactful. For me, it was the Dupree show for Vitality in that comeback. He was phenomenal, Vincent. Decision-making coming out. Sure, there was that one round we all kind of want to forget where he failed in that 1v1 versus Tapson, who was low in health. But if you ignore that, he was impactful. And he was so instrumental alongside Masuta in Vitality bringing out that, grinding out that comeback. And this is despite the fact that for Vitality, Magisk was comparatively a little bit quiet. It wasn't like he had a terrible game, but thus far in his Vitality run, starting from the challenger stage, it has been the man that is Magisk who has delivered. Can he deliver again? Here is the question, as Big will be starting on the CT side. Crimbo donating the dualies towards Tizian. He's got a couple of flashes for himself. No kits for the CT side. Vitality, though, 2 smokes and 2 flashes for Apex and Magisk, and a P250 for ZywOo.
Getting aggressive outside already. Tapson is there with his USP. One of the elements that makes Tapson such a great player that stood the test of time is he can pretty much play with anything. We've seen him at IGL, entry, AWP, pistols, rifles, but ZywOo's like, here's a pistol for you. And a P250 carves his head clean out. Outside control will be going with that. ZywOo does take a dink, though. I'm not sure if that was from a teammate or if that was from Crimbo. Maybe partially through the wall. Julie's, though, meanwhile, going to be staving off the push, and you can see the respect shown instantly. Like, Julie's, nope, we don't want any part of this. Let's get out of here.
This is such a fast decision being made here because Dupree pushed up towards Mini. They know that the upper bomb side is probably empty. And look at the flank coming in from heaven as well. The CTs, though, they've grouped them from behind. They could find one. Dupree spots a player, and that is the jig being up. Bomb should be planted. An Apex position here. This could be huge.
Could be a free kill in the back of Tizian. Can pick up the Julies if he wants them. Vitality, player advantage, post plant coming in. All three players clumped on the lobby. And Dupree gonna get smacked down by Faven. Apex, in the meanwhile, steps up to the plate, but Matrix gets flashed out. Now ZywOo with a P250, point blank range, comes out second best. Apex has it all to do alone. Trying to play the time as well. There's no kit in the hands of Crimbo, who's being slowly put down in his grave. And Vitality get the pistol, and Apex is feeling himself.
That was a bit of a weird round from Magist, though. He tosses in a flashbang when he knew the CDs are going to be pushing HUD, and he even blinds himself, but Apex coming up clutch. He was lurking towards outside. All of this, of course, precipitated off the opening pick from ZywOo with the Hero P250, but then Apex with a massive 4K. Mr. Impact, the IGL delivering here in the opening round of the Decider map. In the two sides. It's going to be the force buy, though, for Big. We've seen multiple CD sides from Big where they've opted not to go for the force buy, but Nuke is a map where you know the pistols, especially close range, can deal quite a lot of damage. We also have the Hero M4A1 in the very capable hands of the captain, that is Tapsin. Molotov going to be deployed, and that is a little rough. They needed to get the boost, and they will not manage to do. Actually, they did manage to do so. So from above, Tapsin can deliver death, and indeed he will find two.
Oh my god, this round is spiraled out of control. Tizian, though, drops into his grave, his tomb. Final resting place is Squeaky as ZywOo will push him off his mortal coil. Tapsin misses his chance. There's a lot of damage to Mages. This is where the heaven proponent of Crimbo can finish off the rest. 5-7 in hand, and from above, he will rain down terror with that 5-7 and Scout. So Big, they force it up, like you said. They manage to get the boost in, and they reap the rewards with their second round win.
It looks so dicey, right? It looked like they wouldn't get the boost in time with the flames licking at their feet, but somehow they're able to mow down the marauding Vitality members. Great shots coming in as well from Crimbo from atop. Finding a double. And for Vitality, despite winning the pistol, they're down to, well, even more pistols. They have the AK-47 though for ZywOo. Of course, that's one player you're going to be giving it towards. 3 smokes, no flashes. Right now they're waiting for some aggression here from the CTs. And the CTs, they're giving nothing. Tizian's got the MP9. He's going to be playing a little aggressively towards HUD. Sirson with a scout, as usual. Smoke for Garage. As the T's will start to cross. Sirson should find a player up top. That is Apex playing a dangerous game. Getting tagged down, but he will stay alive. As Vitality slowly creep on through the bullets, just whizzing past them, but not quite finding its mark.
Well, this line of smokes, they're not picking to go on secret. They're picking to go in garage instead. 3 players in there. There was an incendiary tossed onto the secret entrance, which maybe added to their decision-making process, but now they're looking to spill outside. Tapsin, though, with the A1S spraying down. 3 kills go his way from the vents. And that should be round done and tied up in a neat little bow on the side of Big. They don't lose any players. Excellent news to their overall standing on their CT side. Meanwhile, Vitality hot off the back of a force buy. Well, they'll be looking to dip into a save.
Yeah, they have to, right? Not really getting anything done. A little bit of shooting gallery there for Tapsin. This is big. Despite losing a pistol. Solid next couple of rounds here. Still have the MP9 in the hands of Faven, and he'd be looking to maybe just get a little bit of extra money, right? Just farm a little bit of cash, upgrade to the AWP, toss it towards Sirson. Start to build the rounds. On Vertigo, it was a story of the T sides, Vince. I felt like the CD sides for both teams were very, very lacking. Nuke, however, I was taking a look at his stats yesterday, and although it's only been like 5 maps played thus far, I think it's like 71% of a CT win rate in the Legend stage, which is quite interesting, considering a lot of people would imagine it would be Ancient, which is way more lopsided when it comes to defending sides. Serson out in the open. So the Scout just a one tag onto Apex, and that's going to call Favin to come charging in and farm that cash.
All the damage from Searson. Zywoo has put at least 1 frag down. The Glock gets 2 kills. That's more than I think Big would have been comfortable with. Not that it's necessarily the end of the world anyway, because they can upgrade their weapons.
Yeah, there was just a Scout and the MP9 getting lost, so Big are not going to be feeling too hard put with that fact. Op coming out for Searson, and Favin having built a decent amount of money with the MP9 kill, but for Vitality, it is going to be the buy coming out. They really haven't had much success here, Vince, apart from that first round, which did come down to Apex clutching it out in a 1v2, mind you. So, Big have looked, even though it's still early days here on Nuke, they have looked pretty solid thus far. Op for Searson, playing inside of Mini. You can see Big looking to be a little bit more aggressive here towards the upper bomb side, keeping the T's at bay, and Crimbo playing a dangerous game here, just a shoulder peek around the corner for Ramp. He is a sole defender. There is literally no one nearby. If he gets taken down, there's not going to be any trade. Rotation's going to be far, far away, and Ramp control is going to be easily taken by Vitality. So Crimbo staying alive here is critical. Favin, in the meantime, the hero for Big on Vertigo, playing towards Squeaky alongside Tizian. On top of the hut, we of course have Tapson with the smoke, with the Molotov ready. A shot taken by Searson, but not quite able to find anything. But Tapson perfectly lining up his crosshair, and Mad just kind of be kicking himself after that.
Oof, that is dirty. And in amongst all of that chaos, Crimbo did throw down his smoke, and now the cavalry has arrived. The help has maneuvered itself into position. Molly down onto Squeaky as well. Big doing a really good job of just wasting so much time for Vitality. They'll feel claustrophobic, like they can't really get anything done. They can't get a stranglehold over this round. And now Tizian getting aggressive with Faven, 25 seconds to play with. All these grenades coming out of Squeaky will stand to reason they're going to be pushing out there. That's the bomb. The bomb goes down first. Gets dropped. They vent over with 2 players, but they have to come back up to pick it up again. They have somehow managed to do that, but it's at the cost of 3 lives. They line up. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but there's no HP left on Dupree. And although he may get a bomb plant finalized, nope, he won't actually. He'll get denied. Even if he did, he was a dead man anyway.
Oh, what a hole coming out there. Again, just a utility being used by Big, perfectly timed smokes, perfectly timed flashbangs. And when they ran out of utility, they had only 1 smoke remaining with 28 seconds on the clock, which was on Tapson. So what does Tapson do? He firstly catches the player trying to cross on over. He also finds the player on top of Silo, just being so impactful with the M4, but also the way they're just repositioning around. Right? Earlier it was Crimbo, all by lonesome towards Ramp, then Searson backs him up after they get the first kill towards outside. And even the double man push up towards Hut, I love that play. They're not in the bomb site, and there is a gargantuan, a massive gap in that smoke, and that means they can't cross on through. Now, bear in mind, they still have 1 more smoke, but that's about it. A lot of pistols. Oh, that's the timing. No, never mind, Tapson's there, but Apex from above deals with him.
Searson has changed angles. This makes it more of a narrow prospect up on the silo. Cartwheels to his demise in round 6. And the remaining 3 players pushing down into Ramp, but this is a crossfire. 2 players locking this one in, make it a 3rd as well. This is over. Vitality's only round they've managed to muster was the pistol, and since then, Big have just been absolutely eradicating them. And then one of the players, the standouts that you highlighted over on Vertigo, Dupree, he's yet to get off the mark. 0 and 6. Magisk, 1 and 6. They've been completely absent.
Yeah, it's very grim start here. But then again, got to bear in mind, right? They got E-code, and then after that, they've only had a couple of buys. I mean, this is the second full-fledged buy they actually have for us here. And this time around, they have all the utility they want to work with. Early deep nade. Searson finding Dupree, and his woes continue, Vince. 0 and 7. Once more. Crimbo, just a little bit of a jiggle peek there. So just making a little bit of footsteps. I don't think Crimbo heard him. If he gets found out, this could be massive. The boost comes in. I like this. I like the way Surson's just repositioning himself, right? He was outside Squeaky, now he's going to be going towards Heaven while ensuring he doesn't have to cross from outside. So after this early pick from Big, Vitality, they've been stymied. They don't seem to really know what they want to do here. They're waiting for some more re-aggression from CTs, which never really transpires. And look at the amount of utility still with the CTs. There's a smoke in the hands of Crimbo. Of course, he's all the way towards the ramp position, but they have nades as well. Another smoke comes in for Squeaky. 50 seconds on the clock now, Vitality. They have the utility to work with them. The Molotovs, a couple of flashes, a nade and a smoke as well. But they really haven't done much with it yet. And time is slowly dwindling away.
Nearly half a minute on the clock. ZywOo had chances. They were brief. They were glimpses more than anything else. And now Molotov forces away those players from the hub. But not for the first time. That boosted up position could be so huge. Maybe not required because Tapson is doing it all alone. 3 kills to the IGL. Again, the impact cannot be overlooked of what he brings to the table. And Apex on the other side of the table is trying his level best to flip it over and take control. But instead, it is a 6-1 lead, and Big are looking impenetrable on this defense.
That was such a huge hole from Tapson because Favin had actually burned down to about 30 HP from the Molotov being lobbed in the top of HUT. A little bit of a celebratory fist bumps here. Gobby, serious as usual. He's like, listen guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We saw what happened on Vertigo. It was 11-4 for Big. And yet Vitality bought it back. First tactical timeout getting called by the French-Danish side. If you look at the money, they can go for a buy. It's not great, however, right? You can see it will be a few of the players having to maybe bring out a Galil just so they have a little bit of extra utility. A couple of them just wielding the AKs. That means they have no utility to work with. So it's going to be minimal nades and flashes and Molotovs. But even when they had all of that, Vince, it really hasn't been great. And there's one thing which has been a question mark for Vitality have been their T sides for me personally. And even though Vertigo was great, right now we're seeing why it is a problem here. A faster play, are we going to be seeing? No, it's not. Surson once more being the opener. Apex will be found on top of Silo.
It's just pistols on the side of Vitality. Not really giving them much hope. As you mentioned, even with full utility, full rifles, it's not worked out for them. They do have an AK-47 though, which has been picked up on the hands of Magisk, who's going to need to have a significant upturn in his impact if they want to get themselves not even back into this game, but just on the right track, honestly. They've got to get there first. Masuda, not for the first time, playing a game of cat and mouse with Crimbo over on the ramp side. And now the smoke's starting to fade away in the distance on towards the hut area. Stacking up here, though. It looks like it could be an explosive play, but it is Searson and Crimbo up against them. Smoke is tossed out. Crimbo getting tagged out, but not fragged in the process. A 2-for-1, and Searson, even if he is to go down, Crimbo is there alongside Tapson, and this round falls into position yet again. 4 corpses in ramp, 7-1 lead for Big.
Vince, you pointed out earlier, I think 3 rounds ago, that Dupree and Magisk had 1 kill combined.
Yep.
Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. This is looking a little rough here. Great hole coming out from, again, the well-placed smoke. And for Vitality, they didn't have any more flashbangs remaining. They just had to go for the contact play. The smoke separating them, and then Tapson, of course, arriving. 15-3 for Tapson. I didn't even notice that. He's having a field day here on Nuke. The buy is going to be coming in once more, though, for the team. And look at this aggressive posturing. Apex finding Searson. He will have his vengeance. And look at Apex charging in. And he's got to find more. He was blinded, Vince, but Tapson will fall.
Crimbo, though, can line them up. Only 1 kill. Heavy damage done. Masuda down to 10 and Apex on 9. Maybe Faven can clean this one up. There's the first. And it's a clean kill at that. Losing no HP. Grenade. Just scraping ZywOo's knees. Nothing too serious. But considering that started off in a 5 versus 3, Vitality not only desperate for the round, but need to get this one done and keep 3 players alive in the process. They have control over A. Faven and Tizian have moved out of position, but now Vitality have to clump together, have to get on the same page, put that bomb down, put the pressure on Big. Smoke onto main, molly onto vents. But Tizian is lurking in the shadows. Can hear the bomb getting planted down in the background. Can't deny that just yet. And it would seem at this stage that Vitality are a shoe-in to take this round. Tizian, though, lining up the flash with Faven. Looking to try and explode out in the process, but ZywOo has his teammates back covered, and Faven is given the go-ahead to save. Vitality get their first round in 7.
Apex is doing everything humanly possible for Vitality to somehow just kind of steal these rounds away. You go back to the pistol round, 4K, the 1v2 clutch. This round, he opens it up by finding Syrson. You can see his body right there with his blood splattered across the shutters. He finds him the narrow angle, and honest to God, I thought Tapson had him dead to rights. He was blinded, he was low, and yet somehow Apex, with the Galil, mind you, able to open it up with 2 quick kills, and then of course after that, the rest of his teammates, they do the work. So while we might have had a very quiet game thus far from Dupree and from Magisk, Apex, he is delivering here. Second round, after a 7-round streak from Big. But because of that streak, Vince, their money is just incredible. Saved AK for Faven, the rest of them going to be going for the buy once more. And again, it's going to be Syrson, but ZywOo, he sees him, I believe, right before the smoke bloomed. And it's going to be an easy opening for the Frenchman.
Oh, Tapson, though, nearly executing Apex atop of silos, takes his head, dinks him down to 11. Crimbo, in the meanwhile, gets pushed into Masuta. That is the kind of opportunistic hunting that we've been looking for and lacking on the side of Vitality. Masuta sending him out of this round puts it into a good position. They also have Apex at the back of the T-spawn, but keep in mind, he's the player with the bomb. The bomb carrier is the one watching for the flank. So they can't push down here onto the B side. They can't force their will onto the A side. And Tizian is starting to dismantle this T side round. I am so perplexed as to what is happening here for Vitality.
Yeah, I'm perplexed as well, Vince. That's huge, though. Finding Tapson. That's kind of like Apex. The bomb has been spotted, though. There's an 11 HP. He's got to cross on over. Fortunately for him, there are no CTs towards Hell or towards outside, so they will creep on back towards the lower bomb site, where it is going to come down to Tizian. He's down to 55 HP. He's going to be perched in a kind of a off angle, a one-and-done spot. 23 seconds. Vitality, they need to make a bit of haste. Smoke getting deployed towards Mini. Are they going to be going up, back up? They are. Faven going to shut this one down, perhaps, Vince?
13 seconds, they decide not to. They're Molotoving the vents instead. Now Tizian is in action. Spray, good for one. Has to switch to the side now. They need to deal with him right now. 5 seconds to play with this. Should be enough time for the plan.
No.
Oh, it's going to be so close. They took the extra half a second. Oh, in the nick of time. With milliseconds to spare. But now Faven comes down. Looking to evacuate the premises, but Apex pushes him out of the round. And Vitality get 2 in a row.
Oh.
That was scary.
There were so many ways that round could have gone wrong, and Vitality, they had it forth with them, and then off, like with ZywOo opens it up, they catch Crimbo, it's a 5v3, and then again Apex the hero there. That could have gone so very wrong, Vince. They got the bomb down with barely, less than a second remaining on the clock. One more second in the delay, one more second late in ZywOo getting that trade. And that would have been big, winning off the clock. But finally, Vitality stringing a couple of rounds together. For Big, money is not a problem. Tag timeout getting called by the Vitality guys. And the game will resume. Up once more in the hands of Syrson. And he has been, the past couple of rounds at least, he has been taken down by Apex and by ZywOo. Early opening death. So that's something he'd be looking to recover from, something he'd be looking to fix, as we have ZywOo's got the AWP, just a standard default hole here, looking to take the duel towards Squeaky, but no one's going to present himself.
Slowing it down. ZywOo's had early picks on the outside. as you highlighted, CSGO's been on the receiving end of a couple of those. tabseN has continued to impress. 15 and 5. Dupree still yet to get any kills on this half, but as I mentioned that, he comes through and takes Faven down with him. That's maybe the catalyst to some more success as ZywOo through the smoke. Pints is in for one, but CSGO holds his resolve down on ramp before the opposite AWP once again rings out. Back and forth, frags, and CSGO gets aggressive through a ramp side, through the Molotov, is forcing and coordinating the T's into awkward positions, and Crimpo is cleaning them up. He's putting them down where they stand. ZywOo with it all to do. Takes down the first of Crimbo. Molly designated to heaven. And in this encounter, ZywOo already with 3 kills in this round, with a chance to clutch it out and put big on the back foot. But CSGO is watching downstairs. The HP advantage firmly in favor to the Frenchman, but he's going downstairs.
Vence, 2 bullets and a deagle.
Only 1 required. He did just give his position away, but still takes down CSGO, who only had the USP. How he wishes he had any other pistol in the game. And ZywOo gets a 4K, a 7-4 scoreline for Vitality, and they are back.
Despite the heroics of CSGO and Crimbo, I loved how Crimbo played there. Played that position from the hut. He gets a kill towards Squeaky, drops on down, catches second player, ZywOo. He was red. He even went for the reload. CSGO was ready with a USP, and he said it, he only had the AWP, and he didn't want to rely on a fast scope because the scope would have given away his position. And ZywOo just spins around, and because of how low CSGO was, 1 bullet was all he needed to land, and land the bullet he did. 4 rounds now for Vitality. Suddenly starting to look competitive. It came down to some heroics, Vince, from Apex, from ZywOo in that clutch. But they'll take whatever they can get here. Creeping in towards Secret. It is going to be Magisk alongside ZywOo, daring the CDs to show something. And despite how flush Big were with cash a while ago, right now you can see tabseN only in a P250 as well. They of course have the rifles and the rest of the other teammates. And tabseN the nade could deal quite a bit of damage here.
Boost up. Oh! Unlucky not to get the kill. The tag must have just glanced his shoulders. Down to 16. tabseN will fall. But the blood will be the clue the Vitality need to string together to crack this case of round 12. Crimbo, in the meanwhile, though, is forced out of position. Flashes are plenty. CSGO has a chance, and he will nullify the frag, but now the counter kills come into play. Apex with 2 as they drop down onto the B side. Faven and Tizian have to try and greet their oncoming. Invaders with open arms. ZywOo may miss with a deagle the first shot, but won't on the second. And now Masuda and Magisk, albeit on a low HP Masuda, have control over the bomb. And they have 17 seconds. Molotoving out the doors is huge because Tizian desperately wanted to peek through there. That should afford them safe passage for the plant and indeed the post-plant as well. 1 grenade made all the difference in this round now. As an incendiary to the back boxes, clears out the angle with the HE, but Tizian also in doing so has given his position away. Flashbang out, he's being rotated on, he's being flanked, but it's not needed. Vitality have now strung together 4 rounds, and finally, Blair, they've broken what was once millions of dollars, or it felt like. Big are now back in poverty.
Yeah, they're just finally broken the economy, and yeah, sure, you'll have a few pistols coming out from the side of Big, but still, it's a fashion in which Vitality is starting to string these rounds together. Individual prowess, able to dissect the defense, and especially when it comes to these clutch situations, again, we talk about the veterancy on the squad, right? We saw Apex with the clutches he pulled off, we saw ZywOo with his own 1v2, this was a 3v2 there. And they ensure that nothing goes wrong. You take a look at the scoreline, it was 7-1 for Big. They were looking nigh and unstoppable. Vitality finally forcing Big to slam on their brakes, and it has come to a bit of a standstill. Because of the lost bonus, they will be able to eke out a decent buy. The Alligator in the hands of Tizian, the auto shot. You love to see it. A fast play coming in towards the upper bomb side, and the Alligator might chomp them down.
Not at that range, it won't though. It never really stood a chance. Masuda with 3 big entries in the meanwhile on this half buy on Big. And And it's falling into position nicely. That HE nearly actually yielded the kill onto Masuda. The bodyguard system in play. Dupree. That is rough.
That's
that
ugly.
is very rough. And on top of it being a rough passage of play, this does give Big a small chance now. They have 5-7, P250, bit of Kevlar. If nothing else, they can whittle down some of this economy and vitality, which is hardly the greatest.
Yeah, they're just going to try and go for the exits here, right? And maybe pick up the... Yeah, like you said, take away a couple of the weapons so you don't have to... you can invest a little bit more in the utility come the next round. But vitality, oh, they make a bit of noise. And remember, Masuda is very, very low, but a great shot from Magisk. What a round from Masuda. Okay, that got a little hairy. You can see how low Masuda was there, but what a sequence of openers from Masuda.
What you know, the crazy part about this Blair, and he's kind of like a victim of his own success in the past, is you look at Dupree and you look at Magisk. These guys, previously some of the best players in the world, even within the context of this tournament, had amazing performances. They're bringing this back 5 rounds in a row, basically with no Dupree and Magisk on the server.
It's not just a French.
It's just wild. It's just mad. How is this possible?
It is kind of wild. Fast play as they run ahead of the smokes, and that's actually going to almost catch Tapson off guard. He will survive Atizian now. He's going to be pressured here, Vincent. He's going to find nothing. Magisk, he's woken up now. He's looking for blood.
And he's found it. But he may not be satiated. That bloodlust may still continue to drive him forward. The Viking once more. Apex in the meanwhile trades back and forth. The Dupree's woes continue. Faven doubles up on Hut. 3-on-3. Crimbo downstairs has pulled all the way back. And he must know that these Ts are pressing down on his position, especially as they're covering the lobby side.
The problem is Vincent Vitality choose to pounce on the lower bomb side right now. The other two CTs are so very far away. So Crimbo, for the time being, he is all by his lonesome. The lone defender has got a nade. No nades, nothing else apart from that. No smokes, no Molotovs. And he's going to have his crosshairs trained, but they're going to pounce on him simultaneously, Vince. They're going to open up the squeaky, and that's the moment they break the window. However, backup could be nearby. Faven is there.
The window's now been smashed. Molotov towards ramp. Smoke also there. Flash is coming in. Beautiful. That's exactly what Vitality were looking for. However, what they weren't anticipating is Faven pushing through the Molotov, but now the spray is good. And with the post plant also coming in, Searson, he'll be looking to save this AWP, I think. He's half thinking about it. This may put him back into the game. This may put him into the round. He's been gifted a 1v1. And now switching across to his AK, there's plenty of time, even without a kit. Now he's picked one up. He's got a smoke, a HE, and a flash, but no idea as to Masuda's positioning until it's too late. And he gets snatched away. 6 rounds in a row, Blair, from 7-1 to 7-7.
Vitality, they like their comebacks, Vince. That's one thing we've figured out in the past couple of maps. This is just fast and furious from Magisk, and Zaiwu again with the window position being so good. And in the end, the 1v1. The Frenchmen, they're doing it all by the lonesome. Although that previous round, Magisk did have some very impactful opening frags, just running on in, seeing glimpses of what he could do. I think Tapson got spotted there. Down to 19 HP, but he might be able to escape. Indeed, he will. This is, of course, a pretty rough buy for the CTs. There's still a player tucked inside the Searson. With it A1, will Magisk check? That's the question. Is Magisk slowly fading away? Now, for Searson, even if he doesn't see anyone, there's information gained by his teammates, right? They've also taken on Zaiwu, the danger man, but they're creeping towards ramp, and once more, it's Crimbo, and he's got a French rifle in his hands.
HE up and over, that could do some serious damage, but instead it only tickles Dupree before he relocates, repositions to the B side. So ramp control now forthcoming on the T side. Tapson probably should have died earlier on to Magisk's hands. Lucky to be alive on 19, but they've backed all the way to CT spawn. And this is to facilitate any kind of heaven push, which Dupree is about to come into. Gets the kill. 1 HP remains though for Dupree, and Magisk is watching Squeaky. The timing works against him, and the MP9 comes out ahead. That kill changes the dynamic of this round entirely in 1 second. That could have been Magisk wide swinging onto the site, but instead they have to push out onto Heaven, and there's not enough time to change their angle of aggression. But Faven, there's too many areas for him to watch out for. Too many targets. 1 HP on Dupree, 25 on Apex. But a post plant comes in. And Searson, still on 100 or thereabouts, is making a move outside. They pass by one another. Dupree coming up the stairs is found and put down, laid to rest. And now Apex has to try and fend off this push. First spray is good on the periphery of the smoke. 25 against the 98, and time ticking away. No kit for Searson. He's going to stick on this site, going for the full defuse right now. Apex around the corner, just has to peek in. And even though he gets killed, there's no time. Apex will clutch.
He knew there was no kit. That's why he says it. We knew it. Oh, Apex. He has been magnificent this half. It was looking rough for Big, but led by the captain, he rallies the troops and they bring this one back. That looked almost unwinnable, Vince. A combined HP of less than 20, Dupree and 1. Apex is 20, I think 23 HP in that 1v2. He plays that edge off that smoke so very well. And Vitality, the comeback kings, led by the 3 musketeers of Apex, Zaiwu and Misuta. And Big, they're probably left wondering, they're probably shell-shocked by now, Vince. 7-1, and then Vitality on a 7-round streak. What a comeback.
And the one in that 7 was the pistol. So they had them by the scruff of the neck that entire half. And then that switch was flipped and everything changed. Vitality, though, we're going to have to mount a comeback into a lead-attaining position, and it won't be happening in this round. Searson and Faven both putting in with their Glocks, and 2 headshots are forthcoming. And the 3 remaining CTs all come from the CT, already losing more lives. What a turnaround, what an answer by Big. 7 rounds in a row, you could let your heads drop, you could start to really get in your own minds, come straight out, A-rush, take heads, clean it up as easy as you like.
Oh boy, Big. Remember, it was Vitality winning the pistol round off the back of Apex, with a 1v2 clutch and the 4K, but it was Big who won their force buy, right? So that's going to be kind of itching at the back of their minds. They need to be paranoid. They're like, okay, we've won the pistol round. We've got to... Okay. All right. Something for Big. It feels like a lifetime ago when they lost one around, because Vitality were just running all over them. And this is with Dupree and Magisk being so very quiet, Vince. The fact they lost the pistol round, they're still going to be feeling mighty comfortable. They're still going to be feeling absolutely just in that flow state. But Big, you can never count them out. One thing about Big, one thing we know about are the super ultra mega nerdy executes they were known for. And Nuke is a map where a tactical T side can really wreck the defense. So let's see what Big have in store for us over here. The pistol win allows them the couple of AK-47s, the Galil, the MAC-10s as well. I'd be surprised to go for just a shock and awe approach towards the upper bomb side, but looking at the amount of utility they have, they might just slow things down. Force Vitality to use up the bare minimal utility they have right now.
Well, they're starting off, though, with a fast push. Nothing slow about this. They vent dive down, multiple players losing a lot of health in the process, but Apex is the first casualty, and more importantly, on the side of Big, the only casualty thus far. Faven, Crimbo, Tabson, all low. But Dupree can't finalize the kill through the smoke. On the downstairs, in the meanwhile, Magisk is putting some speculative deagle shots down range, but in the smoke, nothing connects. And a post plant comes in. And with all of that damage being done through the smoke of Squeaky, they don't even know there's low players. So there's no way they're going to go for this. They just want to hold on to what they have, back away and try and save. And my concern here, though, Blair, is on the T side, they're getting carried hard by like Apex just being a monster, going back to his roots of like entry fragging and just basically being a well-rounded beast. Zaiwu having impact. If Dupree and Magisk continue to be underperforming and they get singled out and exploited, the CT side can completely capitulate.
Oh, absolutely. That is definitely within the realms of possibility here, and Big are aware of that as well. But I like this round for them. They didn't usually you see a lot of teams, and after they win the T-pistol round, they will kind of like slow things down and kind of just wait for the aggression from the CTs, and that's when the timing sometimes doesn't quite work out for them. You see a late lobby crunch maybe coming from the CTs, you walk into hut and there's a 5-7 staring you down, and instead they just opt to go for the fast play towards lower bomb site, and it just works out perfectly. Not losing a single player, however, because of Vitality only suffered one casualty, they will still have these, the force spike from the previous round to work with. Have that FAMAS in the hands of ZywOo. The Frenchman fittingly wielding the French weapon, but he's taken so much of damage. Nade, bullets, and the flames taking him down, and they are making quick work of the spies. I say that, Masuda finds one, and Tizian is very low. That's the bomb spotted as well, I believe.
I think the only saving grace is it might have been on the other side.
Oh, it's on the other side, my bad. X-ray. But still, finding the 2 kills there. Syrson and tabseN, they slow it down. If I'm them, I just group up here, walk together, plant the bomb, and even if Masuda finds a kill, just go for the trade. But they're making this pretty expensive, all Vitality.
Oh, they have already, absolutely. There are some rifles down, though, that they'd like to trade up if they get the opportunity to do so. Masuda, though, knows there's a weapon outside. This is the... It was a FAMAS, now it's a MAC-10. It's been upgraded from tabseN. But Masuda has the timing, has the deagle, and has a chance. But that's all it is. A brief glimmer of an opportunity to make something truly special happen at the legend stage of a major. A player of his experience would do well to make this even close. He's already got 2. Can he go 2 better? Post-plant in, not planted favorably for Masuda at all. And with no kit, no smokes, no flashes, nothing to really work with, he has to go and have a look first. Tickling the bomb here will do nothing for him, so he's going to take the fight to the T's. And finds the first. Frag down. Now it's a battle against time, though. Tickling the bomb out. Tries to get CSN out into the open. So nearly rattles his skull. But CSN has done enough to clutch this. Even if Masuda had connected the shot, it would have been over anyway. Beautiful try, though, all things considered.
I love the silent drop from Heavens. So many times people just fail that. People always make a little bit of sound. He was silent as a ghost, making it so very expensive, because it honestly felt like Big would have won this one very, very convincingly. That's Syrson, the last one to stay alive. So definitely going to be hampering the economy a little bit, but still, Big able to string 3 in a row together, and here we go. The first buy coming in for Vitality. ZywOo with the AWP M4 spawn for everyone, but just Capri looking to redeem themselves after what was a very lackluster half, and somehow ZywOo, I don't think he's seen this cross. Okay, he's all the way from CD spawn. Big gap in the smoke there. Taps it up close. It's going to be the A hit.
I was going to say the audacity to vent dive there, but Apex is already down. So you've just walked into your jail, your final resting place for round 19, and already only 2 players remain, one of which is the AWPing contingent of CSN, and the other is tabseN, who's hoping that Apex, who was last seen in vents, tries to come up. CSN making moves downstairs. Now, this is a really important round for Vitality. They're already in a great position, but their money is in no place to lose more weapons. They have got to hold on to this.
The question is, how are the 2 Ts going to be grouping on up? Syrson head spotted. Apex. tabseN finds one in the meantime, Vince. 4v2 to a 2v2. tabseN, those days should be numbered as Magisk finds him. And Syrson...
Even the absolute audacity for him to slow peek up the ladder and try and no-scope there, mate. Get down. That's outrageous behavior.
They do manage to inflict a bit of damage on the economy of Apex and his men. Rapid German being spoken there by tabseN. It's just the pistols right now. Tech 9, couple of Deegs, P250 in play, a lot of utility, a decent chunk of utility being purchased as they opt to deploy the smokes towards outside of Molotov as well for the T-Red. And ZywOo lies in wait and happen in the meantime, dropping on down. Apex caught with his pants down. He can find another kill here, but ZywOo blinded, no scopes him.
ZywOo on the cross as well. That was the call that tabseN made. Said drop down main, get some kills. That's exactly what Faven did. nearly had 2. Probably should have had 2 if it hadn't have been for ZywOo just being an absolute monster with the AWP as per usual. Masuda now has 3 players. Ooh. First one is a crisp headshot. Bomb gets spilled down, but tabseN's there to deliver the fatal blow. Problem for ZywOo is he could get swept in, and I think he realizes it too. dupreeh will claim the kill into Tizian. That is gargantuan for the prospects of Vitality winning this round. It means that ZywOo can now focus his attention down onto the actual site itself, and now joined by dupreeh and Tizian. Trade back and forth, but tabseN is going to finally be put in his final resting place. 10-10 the score, but that was another 3 casualties. Vitality can't quite build their economy yet.
Yeah, considering the investment from Big, that's a big win. No pun intended. As Vitality now, at least they've tied things up, right? A couple of rounds expensive. Oh, that's just lethal from Favin. And ZywOo, he's so fortunate, Vince. He is so fortunate because that could have gone the way of Favin, and then the round could have spiraled out of control.
Oh, yeah.
We saw the timing flank, the timing flank from dupreeh as well, from ramp, able to take out a player. So there were so many places where that could have gone very wrong for Vitality, but they hold on. The buy now going to be coming out. sirsyn with his Zoom banger. Atop the silo. dupreeh, CT vents is rattling off a number of bullets. The smoke's going to allow a lot of room to work with here for the T side. It's going to be tabseN sneaking in towards garage. No one inside a secret. As Favin and Tizian, they team up. dupreeh will be absolutely ruined. The flames forcing him out of position. And now Magisk has a lot of work to do with ZywOo. And inside the upper bomb side with AWP, it's not a comfortable spot to be, even if you are ZywOo.
That's why ZywOo's going looking. He's trying to find himself something to execute from. sirsyn, maybe the first player to peek. Thinks better of it. Molotov now will give their position away. Just shy of a minute on the clock. sirsyn through first. Gets the kill on ZywOo. He had no right to win that frag, but the triple spray down was available for Magisk, and he gets 2 in amongst all of this chaos. The clarity of Masuda to be pushing forward still to get 1 and to tag sirsyn down so low. That flank is pristine timing. And it should be the curtain coming down on round 21. tabseN, though, from the heavens, looking to spike down onto Vitality, but instead that will be his final demise, and Vitality take the lead 11-10.
What a round from Magisk. What a round from Magisk.
I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and you can see with the play as well, Vince, he did not give an F.
And he was talking to dupreeh there.
I love it.
It must have been dupreeh maybe asking for help. He's like, yo, bro, look, we won the round, okay?
I've already dropped an F-bomb yesterday, Vince. I'm not going to do the same again. The players can do whatever they want. What a play. What a play from Magisk, though. He had a quiet... he was very quiet. He was 1 kill and 10 deaths, and dupreeh was 0-9, I believe, in the first half. Yep. But he's kind of coming to his own here. 9 kills. Impact. Huge impact there in that round. 3K for him. And here we go. Big. They had everything going their way that round, but then it just completely falls apart. And because of that, the pistols come out once more. 3 smokes, 3 deeks, make that 4, in fact, for the side of Big. And for Vitality, can they win a round without losing too many players? Can they win a round without hemorrhaging so much of money? That's the question, and I really hope they do.
Well, surely it's this one, right? You got 4 Deagles, a Glock alongside it, no flashes, only 1 smoke left. If there was ever a round you expect Vitality to take and to take comfortably, it's this one. HE touches down base on Crimbo. 77 health evaporates in a brief moment. And now Tizian finalized ZywOo, a shooting gallery. Target-rich environment, and so far he is keeping himself alive. Will go down, that's an AWP that goes with him. Obviously can be retrieved later on, but this is where the Deagles start to get a little bit terrifying. Crimbo on the close angle. Not only is this not a clear-cut round, it's now a 2-on-2. This is a winnable round for Big. With elimination on the line, with so much at stake. Big have somehow brought this back, and now they have an AWP, and it's in the very capable hands of sirsyn. Favin playing bodyguard. Players isolated, separated by a thin veneer, a thin wall, and now the Deagle goes to town again. The patience of Favin proving to be such an integral part of this round. I cannot believe, Blair, we are in a situation where Big might be about to win with 4 Deagles and a Glock.
This could be a huge catastrophe. I just said, Vitality, you need to win a round like this without losing too many players in a 1v2. They don't have a kit as well. Thank you for the observers for pointing it out. He doesn't have a kit. And he can't afford the time to run all the way to what's held and pick it up, because that's going to make a lot of sound as well and give away his position. Magist needs to do the impossible now.
Pushing onto the site. No nades to draw out any of these angles. No idea as to where they currently possess, and he's just moved past. He's going to get spotted, and Faven shuts him down.
Oh.
Big with Deagles have pulled this out the fire. And the impact that has to Vitality, not just mentally, not just score-wise, but financially as well, is so significant.
It's a disaster, Vince. It's an absolute disaster for Vitality. Oh, the shots, though. The shots coming out from Faven and Crimbo. And the patience as well. Vitality, they just keep poking and prodding, trying to find some information. And it all goes wrong, so terribly wrong for Vitality. Big calling their final tactical timeout. No more opportunities for GOB to talk to his men after this. And they've broken the money for Vitality. Absolutely capitulated there, did the French-Danish side. And is this the round where it all went wrong? That's the question for me, Vince.
I mean, if they lose at this point, Blair, I think you have to highlight that round as being a particular back-breaking, soul-destroying moment in this game.
Round 22. That's what I'm going to keep out. I'm going to remember if Big mount this comeback and knock out Vitality. Because over in the A-Stream, of course, we have all the 2-1 matchups, so even if you lose that, right, you still have another opportunity to play tomorrow. This is do or die. You either win and live to play another day, or you go home. That's what's at stake here. And would that mistake have been what completely ruins the hopes of Vitality? That's the question. Right now, a bit of a stack taking place towards the upper bomb side. They have a couple of Deags of their own as well, Vince. Dupree with the 5-7 and 2 USBs. No utility.
Just going to take first point of contact, and he will go down. Unsurprisingly, as he gets peeked from multiple players. Faven, triple spray. Activates onto the side. And this round is how the last one should have gone. Easy, comfortable cleanup with no casualties. That's how it's done, Vitality. 9-0 to Nip against Furia?
Holy hell, okay. It's been a day of some interesting matches, Vince. Like, this has been the banger of a series. Mind you, the first series on the A-Streams was already done about half an hour ago, before this map even started. That's how insane Vertigo was. But Furia struggling against Nip at the moment, and right now so are Vitality. Big, winning a couple of rounds, massive rounds. Tizian's going to find the opening. Magisk will fall. Oh, ZywOo though, he doesn't need a sniper. He's going to snipe away Surson with his M4A1, but Tizian somehow finding kills at will through the smoke. Apex will fall.
More trays, Dupree knowing the Molotov was down, repositioning, turning his attention as ZywOo now shows his hand from heaven. Oh, this combo is looking so sharp, but Tizian comes back once again, 1v1, and ZywOo holds his resolve. However, it's at the cost of 4 teammates, so this next buy, grim.
Absolutely. And the thing is, for the side of Big, they won the round with the Deagles, able to salvage a couple of guns there. After that, the round they won following that round was just a flawless round. They didn't lose any players, so they have all the money to work with here. Thankfully for GOB, Big don't have any more tactical timeouts remaining. That is, they're using Vitality's tac timeout, the third of which is being used by Zonic right now as they talk things through. ZywOo coming up clutch there. He opens it up by decapitating Surson on top of Silo and following it up with a 1v1 clutch against Tizian. You can take a look at the cash. It is looking very solid here for Big. They have enough money for 2 rounds now. What is this? Oh, I couldn't even see him.
Saw a brief glimpse of a pixel, and that was all ZywOo needed.
4K.
To make him disappear, and that 4K on top of it is something very special indeed. Oh, this is a rough mix-match buy-up. MP9, the XM, FAMAS, AK, M4.
It's a variety.
Just one kit as well. And they've lost the first player in the round. Masuta is sent packing by Faven's AK-47.
That's not the start vitality we're looking for, Vince. This is the force buy, mind you. They lose this, they have to go for an eco. And that means big. They're going to get to 14. Just hoping, praying to the Elder Gods, begging them to come down towards Vents, where he's looking to chomp onto them. Pretty cool crossfire potentially being set up between himself and Dupree with the MP9 atop a hut. Is it going to come down to ZywOo again, Vince? That's the question. He's got an AK-47 in his hands. We know how capable he can be. As Big are going to start deploying the wall of smokes. A little delayed on the 1 minute mark, but it is only going to be Tapson sneaking on up while the remaining teammates group up with his ramp position. Where guess who lies in wait? It is Apex, the captain.
Timing will not be sweeter either. If he depletes this magazine, he will get pushed afterwards. XM point blank range. Magisk removes the head of Tapson. So the one player pushing down Secret has now been compromised, and you don't really play a play down Secret at this time unless you're eyeing up a potential B hit. But CSN now shows himself, AK-47 from ZywOo, looking to try and repel the invaders, and that's 2 kills that go by his side. Tizian last man up to the plate, and it may just crash against the side of his head with ZywOo picking up yet another rifle round kill, and it's 13-12 to Vitality.
There's 5 kills within ZywOo and Magisk, Vince, and that was Magisk with the auto shotty, the XM finding Tapson on the look towards Secret, picks up the AK-47, but what a hold coming in. What a hold from Vitality. That was such a grim looking buy, but they managed to convert it. 2 AK-47s picked up as well. Now we'll see the buy coming out, and Big, they don't go for it. They don't go for the force buy. They can't afford to, Vince. They're going to go for the eco. Here's the full eco. They have a couple of deagles to work with. It's in the hands of Faven and Crimbo. And they're going to allow Vitality to, well, at least on paper, get to round number 14.
The thing is, though, I have that last deagle round still in the back of my head, Blair. And you better believe that Vitality do as well. Surely they can't let that happen twice. There are less deagles in play this time. Just 2 as opposed to 4.
Tizian. Oh, he actually finds the timing. Oh, Tizian. How's he alive? How is he alive?
Screw this, lads. I'm pushing Vents. And it works out somehow. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the bombs, so we can't try and rush that plant down, and they're walking into the crossfire. And this crossfire will put them in their tomb. Bomb gets dropped down as well, so no hopes or prospects of a bomb plant, although they do still have Tizian downstairs, but that would have been called by Dupree. And Tizian, he's a goner. This round is going to be a done deal. 14-12, as you highlighted, Blair. But now, it's all been leading to this moment. This is where Big have got to shine.
I'm still giggling internally over Tizian just running out. Just like, slow it down and just put in the Leroy Jenkins sound, the sound clip on top of the Leroy Jenkins just runs on in. Bit of a comedic moment in what has been a very intensely played series here. 14-12, and Vince, you said it right. Big, it's do or die time right now. Was that comeback all for naught? 14-12. They have the buy up in the hands of Surson. Oh my lord, the nade, over 100 points of damage. Another follow-up nade. Dupree will find Tizian, and that's a man advantage early on. Tapson down to 47 HP as well. He's been spotted, and he fades away. Falls on back, but Apex should find him, and indeed he will. 3v5, man advantage for Vitality.
CSN spots players jumping across, but it's not put off. He knows another player is on the silos. He saw him jump across there. Apex now joining in. HE tossed into Squeaky, damage done to Faven, who pushes by, bypasses the smoke. He's on top of the vents. He can't quite dive down yet. He's looking at the top of Hut. Another frag for CSN, almost identical to the last time around. And suddenly it's in a 3-on-3, but there is a flanking contingent in play. The Faven will bypass that. Just Vitality peeking one by one. But Masuta has this in his hands, and he will not deliver. CSN throws the AWP in his way. An Apex in a 1-on-3 surely can't get this done.
There's no way. The moment he drops down, there is a player waiting for him. It is going to be Fab, and he spots his feet, and the bullets will take out his caps, kneecaps basically in Apex. You can see the frustration starting to creep in, Vince. And we said it. We said how this round is basically it for Big. They needed to deliver, and despite the opening duels going the way of Vitality, a 3v5 favoring them, Sirison comes live with the AWP. Nothing flashy, nothing crazy, just he hits his shots. He makes that AWP shine, and he is still keeping Big in the game. Final tag timeout getting used by Vitality from now on forth, Vince. That's it. There's no more timeouts remaining for either of these two teams. It's pure stress and nervousness and anxiety right now in the server. It's about who can make it to the next stage. It's about who can stay alive to play tomorrow, to play another day. And it's going to come down to the final couple of rounds here. Vitality, they have the buy, but that's it. They have nothing more left in the coffers. For Big, they win this round convincingly, Vince. They take away the weapons. It's pretty much map and match point.
The most important round, perhaps, of both of these teams' tournament is right now, and the early damage inflicted across the ZywOo. Vitality only have the one kit. That is in the hands of ZywOo. No AWP again. He's typically been playing with the rifles. On most CT sides today, 3 players, Big, making moves, making inroads, looking to take control over ramp, pillage it, plunder it if they can. Masuda flashes, incendiary, death. Crimbo will deserve himself a lot of praise after this performance, but that's if they can convert from this point, because they're starting to spill downstairs, and Magisk is here, but he's been smoked out of position. He must know if he pushes through there, he's a goner, but there's a flank coming into play. But Magisk and Apex have both been dealt with swiftly and with no mercy. dupreeh and ZywOo remain. They do still have control over that kit, but considering that ZywOo's already out of there, it's going to be a save.
They have to save. There's no money. There is zero money. ZywOo and dupreeh having to hold on to this A1. What a round from Big. Just a straight on ramp execute. Man, Masuda was just lost. He had no idea what was going to happen. He was blinded. He was burning alive. He couldn't head back down towards the ramp position and gets triple peeked by Big. And they have absolutely smashed Vitality. They're going to get to round number 14. They're going to tie things up. And we spoke about the T side from Big. Even though the CD side fell apart a little bit after the 7-1 lead they had, we always said that the T side is something which you need to be wary of. They have these executes they can always bring out. And that was such a great take coming out from them. And even the flank getting taken care of, the shots being hit by Favin and of course by Tapson. And look at this. Look at what Vitality have. The 2 safe rifles, and they have to go for the full ego. Just so, come round number 30, because they were now guaranteed all the full rounds and will at least have a semblance of a buy to work with here. A P2K from Apex tapping away ZywOo with the M4 towards Mini. They've heard the sound. They know where ZywOo is, and they know there's another M4 in play. It's about avoiding the death trap that could be ZywOo and dupreeh working together.
They're both downstairs. They're both in the right position right now. 3 players coming through. ZywOo will take first point of call, and dupreeh can wide swing afterwards. Now they're spotted. Oh, the headshot is huge. Here comes dupreeh. 2 kills go back to fourth. And the USP as well. Masuda showing his hand. The bomb spilled out. The bomb's in an awkward position. It's more headshots from ZywOo. A 1-on-3. Now the only silver lining for Crimbo is that none of these 3 players have Kevlar or rifles. It's USPs and a P2000. That's it though. This is a winnable round for Crimbo.
But he's lost out of them, Vince. He has no idea what his CTs are. Vitality immediately evacuating the premises. They're like, cool, we're not going to give you the opportunity for a spray down. We're not going to allow you to isolate these fights and take us down. Because as you said, USPs, default pistols, a flashbang for Apex, no Kevlar, no nothing. 30 seconds to work with here. He's got the health, he's got a utility, he's got everything to work with. Time, however, is dwindling. He's got to punch in the digits on that bomb as soon as possible, but he's still walking. He's still paranoid.
How terrifying.
He's got a gun now.
How terrifying for Crimbo here. He's just like, I don't know where I'm going to get peeked from. It could be anywhere. 10 seconds. Here comes the push in from Apex, but Crimbo successfully gets the bomb plant down. He's still got 2 flashes. He's still got a chance. Crimbo could be clutching this one out. The spray is good for 1, but there's Apex on the return. And they make the double stack on Vents.